Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies, to the best episode of Big M's Power Hour to date. I'm your host, Big M, along with the best co-host this side of the dark side of the moon, Cole of the Sea.
Well, I'm glad to hear that I'm the best host of this side, the dark side of the moon. What I don't know if I want to be on the other side of the moon. I don't think there's much out there, so
Nothing but shitty
we'll take
co-hosts.
it.
That's all.
Nothing but shitty co-hosts. There we go. There we go.
So, how was your month?
Month's been good. I'm glad we're doing another one of these. It feels like it's been longer than a month since we've done one. Honestly,
Yeah, and I
I've
even
been
did a
missing it.
I even did a mini episode
Mega
about
minute.
yeah
Yeah,
mega minute about the squatting. Still feels like it's been
yeah. Yeah, it's been a minute, it feels like. But don't worry. We're back.
yeah.
Settle in. Get your
Uh,
painting ready because we all know that's what you're here doing. You don't want to look at our faces. It's okay.
Go back to painting. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I have my one friend he has an AoS army. I don't
hmm
remember if you met Tyler or not, but he's more into like basically everything else.
Okay. Did he have an OC Bone Reaper's army?
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember Tyler then.
We
Yes. No, he seemed like a cool guy.
he was talking about struggling with trying to get actual painting done, so we've been having like an hour every Monday where we do a little bit of painting. So I have
Awesome.
I have some flesh tone on a boatload of fire slayers. Not looking forward to the next steps, but I'm not looking forward to the current step. So
Well, there we go. No, painting is hard for all of us, I feel like, at least at some point. So I'm glad you're helping him through all of that. Let that be a lesson to everyone else listening to this.
yeah, yeah.
Check on your friends with the gray armies. You know, they might need help.
But if they don't, gray is beautiful. That's
I mean, sometimes.
hashtag.
Also, whenever you go to an event, you got to fix
Yeah, if
that.
you're going to
So
an event,
that's
that's where I
that's
draw the
my
line.
motivator. Is I go to events so armies get done.
If you're going down to local shop on Sunday and you got a little bit of gray, a little bit of prime, and you
Yeah,
start
that's
bitching,
fine.
just throw the models at them. Just
I wouldn't throw the models.
throw
I
them
grab
away.
like a bottle of water and throw
They're
that. The
done.
models are expensive. I care about them. A friend. Now we aren't worried about it anymore.
So, as far as that goes, beyond that, I had a 2-day GT at Fabricator Forge this past weekend. I'll get
Yeah.
into more detail. Well, no, this will come out after Chuck's show. So, if you want to hear that, go back to watch Chuck's show from this week, where
There we go.
I've already
Gone over
gone
it.
over the whole thing. Uh, but TLDR, I went 2-2 or 2-3, and that's only because I got the bye last round.
Okay. Okay. Well, so 2-2, 2-2.
Oh no!
Oh
The bye is one of
no.
the wins. That's
Oh, 1-3. Okay. Okay. So we
yeah,
we got to hang out and see friends.
yeah.
That's what I
Well,
heard.
I
Yeah.
mean, so I was rusty, and I made a bunch of tactical errors.
hmm
But on top of that, dear God, uh, uh, you know how I've been trying to stay away from complaining about dice.
Yes.
There is no way.
Look, even your virtual dice were bad the other week whenever we were goofing around. So let's be honest.
So
It's
day
understandable.
one, every combat, there was at least one mega that completely whiffed every roll.
I don't think you're supposed to do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Okay.
whenever a quarter of your army is swinging, it should probably hit. That's
It should probably hit. Yeah, at
we can
least
get
do something.
we can get
Yeah.
like 4 damage out. That's I
Right.
brought Broad Stomp. Just
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, you should probably do a little something something.
yeah, I brought so the list that I brought was pretty standard. Broad, Gatebreaker, War
Mhm.
Stomper, and 4 minis. Uh,
Okay.
the War Stomper. What's funny is like normally the War Stomper is kind of the King Broad.
Hmm.
So the Achilles heel of the army is um, King Broad, the War
Mhm.
Stomper, and all of the minis.
Right. You take this and go, I should have fit 2 gate breakers in here.
So here's what I did. Now the new list is I got rid of one of the minis and replaced it with a second gate breaker.
I'm in favor of this personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, agreed. It's probably better, but hey, you got to play around with it, push some big models around the table, have a good time over the weekend.
Well, so that was the other thing I was kind of talking about. Is like normally I feel bad because I get bent out of shape for just constantly losing, especially like these types of losses. Like these are the ones that normally get to me.
Yeah.
But I've come up with like a mantra almost, where not necessarily a mantra because that's like a saying, but this isn't a saying. This is
right.
a frame of mind where I basically go, okay, so the last time I played was for funsie whenever Ben and I played at the beginning of the month, and then the time I played before that. I mean, not the hex map because it's
right. Yes, the actual. Yes.
I don't remember the last time I played AoS. Had to have
it's been a little while
or something, or one day or
yeah.
But I'm going against people that play probably once a week, every other week,
easily. Yeah.
And that's not fair if I come in and stomp on them.
No, yes, that would be very upsetting if you just showed up and stomped all over them.
I don't put it. I did not put in the time, and like
yeah.
So this will be just for your reference. The next time we're at an event and I actually do prep and I still lose, then I'll be upset again. So.
That's when you'll be upset. This one you weren't prepping, you didn't. Yeah.
Right. I'm like the guy across from me worked harder, wanted it more, and he got it. So.
I hear you.
Yeah. So other than that, Cole and I did a little bit of an experiment. Because all the information about 4th edition is kind of coming out, and one of the things I was seeing a lot of people talking about was alternating activations. And I was like, I wonder what AoS feels like with alternating activations. So we would hop it on TTS, and essentially what we did was we rolled off for priority, and then whoever got priority would take their phase first. And so one person would take their whole hero phase, then the other person takes a hero phase, movement, shooting, charge, combat.
Yeah.
And then we kind of blended monstrous rampage, combat, and battle shock all together because that doesn't need to be separate.
Right. Yeah.
So Cole, what list did you take?
So I took actually a Blades of Corn list for a change. It was a pair of Bloodthirsters. Neither of them were the big axe one. I cannot remember their names off the top of my head. I want to say Unfettered Fury and of Wrath, but I'm probably wrong.
I know you had Unfettered Fury. I know that's the one I know.
Yep. I also had just 2 of the Heralds. Using them as priests. I had given one of the Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury the Crown of Blood, so he had always strikes first. The command ability that he becomes a priest, so that through all my priests I had a free movement, +1 to rend, and +1 save. I then was taking a 30 block of Bloodletters, 2 10 blocks of Reavers, and a unit of Fleshhounds, as well as 3 Blood Crushers, and that was the whole list. So very much just we're going to push forward and try and get to you and run you over.
Yeah, and I took kind of the current meta KO list: 2 frigates, 2 10 blocks of Thunderers fully loaded out, a gun hauler with 6 engine riggers, and I went with a admiral and a navigator for heroes. Because when you raise points on everything,
it gets hard.
You don't get rid of the good stuff, you get rid of the bad stuff.
Yes, you do. You just start trimming fat. I didn't think that was fat, but it's coming off too.
I don't need an Endrin Master. That's
don't need it now.
So we had very diametrically opposed armies.
Yes, we did. Yes.
I think that's. I think in your position, that would typically be a very frustrating match. If you like, let's say you went to a tournament or something, and it was a
Right.
standard game, that would probably be
Yes.
pretty frustrating of you trying to just like, I'll get you this time, and you fly away.
Right. Yeah, I think it'd be a tough one, but I think I'd have had a little bit better position than what we ended up with
Right.
in this. Not to spoil it, but I feel like the possibility of perhaps getting a double would change that game.
Right.
Taking it, essentially, we took it away. The ability for me to get a double and move and then charge was very interesting. We'll get to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean that's, I mean, there's really not too much of a structure really to kind of get into it here, and I think that's
Yeah.
honestly after the game. So the KO
Mhm.
took it, but like I said,
Yeah.
I I took that particular list because I wanted to see specifically how a moving shooting army deals with alternating activations. And we definitely saw how it worked. I was expecting
Yeah.
it to be easier to deal with, and instead it was harder to deal
It felt, to me, it felt very good at the time, as I almost always had to give the turn away to see where you wanted to move in case you wanted to fly high and get away from me.
with. Right.
And I felt like I was just chasing you the whole time.
Right. And so the one thing that we did talk about afterwards was I think if we wanted to try it again, we would essentially, the movement phase would have to become one, and you would have to do alternating units for the movement phase.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think, again, going through the hero phase, even if there was casting, I don't think you need to alternate casters.
Yeah. It I think
Also, the game's
you're
not,
probably
the game's not set up for you to go, I'm going to cast a spell, you cast a
Right.
spell.
right. So just the way the game lies, it's obviously not set up to do that. And I think you're correct, just because yes, there are some damaging spells in AoS right now, but I don't think there's that much that you're just gonna go, well, instead of dealing with your hero phase, I'm gonna pick off all of your wizards with spells.
Right.
Like that might happen every once in a while, but I don't think the game has enough magic to just do that reliably.
Right. Yeah, I mean, outside of like a croak bomb, I think.
Right. Things that are set up to do so, which, okay, you're
Still
supposed to be good at this. So, yeah.
Right. We always said we agreed that like the movement phase should probably be alternating activation, true alternating activation, where we have
Yes.
one phase and we just go, you go, I go. Now we both agreed that the charge phase needs to remain separated.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just gonna go, I charge,
You're just gonna-
well, I charge that, and I charge that.
Right. Welcome to the one blob in the middle of the table of things that charged into each other and
AKA
just an unending mess. No, you can only do that once. It'll be okay. There will be an end to
Well,
it.
don't worry. I mean, again, everyone has to stay like this, so you're just gonna have.
Look, you might lose Fred if you stand more than 2 feet away from him. Okay. That battlefield, there's a lot going on it. You got to stay close to your battle buddy.
Grab your battle buddy's hand.
Exactly.
We'll
Exactly.
get to that though later. But yeah,
Yes.
so I definitely think the experiment was worthwhile. It definitely was not. It did not feel the way I was expecting it to feel.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting feeling. I don't know that there was anything wrong with the game we played.
No, not at all. I mean, it's still. What's funny is it still felt like AoS.
Yes, it still definitely felt like AoS. It was very interesting to do one movement phase right after the other and just see where things lined up. I really enjoyed the little experiment that we did.
Yeah, definitely. I think at some point, whenever if we want to play and we don't care about playing third edition before fourth, maybe give it another shot.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at this point, we're just here to wait on fourth. At this point, right? Everyone's already setting up all their events for the start of fourth edition and things like that.
Yeah, so that actually reminds me, in July 20th, the weekend of July 20th, Fabricator Forge is having a GT, and if fourth edition is available, it will be a fourth edition tournament.
That'll be great. Yeah.
So you should sign up.
Yes, I should. It has been a little while since I've actually signed up for an event, so I should probably talk to the wife. Probably do that.
And it's not
Come on out and hang out.
Not in August, so it's.
It isn't in August, so we might not die of a heat stroke in that building. Yes.
They have good
yes.
air. Theirs pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the window's open, so
just all the nerd sweat.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, it won't be Summer Slaughter the one year I went. Boy, that was a warm one.
Summer Slaughter was canceled, or decided not.
I don't know. I've got to look. I don't remember hearing anything about it recently. Now that you bring it up, now I have to look into it. Yeah, it was a fun event the year I got to go, so definitely I will have a look.
Well, gentlemen, if because I'm sure the people that run Summer Slaughter, of course, are Big M fans.
Of course, they're fans of Big M's Power Hour. So just one of you guys, if you wouldn't mind, let us know in the comments what happened to Summer Slaughter. I'm sure it's going to happen. I hope.
It's an event that people I don't even know talk about. So whatever you guys were doing, good job. However, if it's something that you can't do but want to do, reach out to the community. I'm sure we're able to support somehow. However, if you're like, nope, I did my time. Thanks, guys.
Understandable. Thank you for the time you did give us.
So with that, let's move on here to the news. We don't have a lot. We'll go through the news, do our pilot cleanser, and then we're going to go over all of the articles. So we have more 4th edition articles than we do news. So
right. So the news means not 4th.
We're good here. Starting April 9th, we got the Old World Almanac designer notes on the FAQ and errata. So we got everything FAQ'd. I kind of looked through it.
Yeah.
I still don't know the game really well enough to know how good it was, how good it wasn't.
I think it was a lot of clearing up things for people. I liked that they finally explained, drilled, and how that was set up, because there was a little bit of an argument going on in the community how it was working. They did a great job of making sure people understood, no, you can't put yourself in a marching column and try and not have abilities affect you. Right. No, they're still going to go. Don't worry.
I don't know. I was just actually earlier today I was watching Honest Wargamer talking about they released their first stats video.
Oh, okay.
And it is all over the place.
It will be for this game for the longest time.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, that's kind of the problem whenever you don't have objectives. Like, and again, as a dwarf player, like, the thought of objectives, I like the idea of objective gameplay, but
to go and have to go out and get an objective. Yeah.
Yeah, he broke everything down into just straight like win loss like normal, but then he also did 3 wins and more.
Okay.
In which case, Empire's at the bottom of both.
That's fine. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Dwarfs are only slightly above them, but that's because they have more games. Like, they have more people playing them.
Right. Like, yeah.
Here's your loss bar. Here's your win bar. Here's my loss bar. Like, here's my loss bar. Here's my win bar. Right.
Yeah. Nope. That sounds about right. So that's okay.
We're still in the same.
Hey, enjoying the bottom of the table. It'll be okay.
Like I said, I don't know. I mean, people are loving it.
Yeah, it's still a fun game.
Now, like I said, I mean, I gotta, like, the skeptic in me gotta say, how much of this is nostalgia?
A lot of it.
I mean,
a lot of it's nostalgia.
Are we still going to be having events selling out a year from now?
Yes, but I don't know if it's because the events are getting larger.
Let me ask it this way. Is it still going to be bigger than Horus Heresy this time next year?
Ooh, that's a tough question. That, I think, entirely depends on the success of 4th edition.
Oh, that's a very good point. If
4th edition is a very good game. I think all the AoS players who went over to the old world will go, well, yeah, that's the game I play with my buddies, but whenever it's time to go to a big tournament, I'm going to an AoS tournament, not an old world tournament.
Very good observation. So we'll see. Like I said, and again, I know there's, due to Chuck's increased amount of coverage of Old World, we have a lot more Old World viewers. I want the game to succeed.
Yes. That? Same. 100%. I want that game to succeed. I enjoy it. Right. It was fun to play.
Do I want them to do a couple balance passes? Maybe. Wouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah. Would I like them to listen to the community and be like, all these things that we're not going to keep up on, go back on the word and be like, actually, don't worry, we'll keep up on those armies we said we weren't going to. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. All right, moving along here. So then on April 11th, we had or I guess there was a little bit of a teaser a couple days prior to with this picture of a horse head. And it turned out to be Knights of Arnor.
Yeah.
Now, for the uninitiated, Arnor is I think one of the lowest ranking true armies. Like, so for readers of the book, you may remember Sharky at the end during the scouring of the Shire. Have you read?
I didn't read the book. Sorry, okay. You're talking to the audience, not me at this point.
So for you, Cole.
Yes.
And spoilers to
spoilers on a however many year old book. Yes.
So essentially, Sharky is Saruman.
Okay.
So Saruman does not die at the at his tower like they show in the movies. Him and Wormtongue actually slink away. And so they decided to turn that into an army that is literally just Sharky, Wormtongue, and you can take bandits.
Oh, and just the group of bandits that they...
The army. Like, that's the army.
Okay.
It's basically for, like, narrative things to do for, like, hobbits and stuff. But, so Arnor is almost as bad because they have a couple heroes. They have, of course, my mind is blanking all of a sudden.
It's all good.
The person that Elrond is speaking to at the beginning when he says, "Throw it into the fire," and he goes, "No." That guy whose name again?
Yep. Completely gone.
Isildur.
Yeah. There we go.
So it's like Isildur. I think there's a couple other heroes like generic captains.
Yeah, generic.
Then you have knight on foot or warrior on foot, warrior with a bow, and now you have knights.
And now we have warriors on horses. There we go.
So the main reason you would take them is there's the Last Alliance where you can take them and elves together, Rivendell elves.
Okay.
But they did give them two separate things, and of course Rivendell's a little more supported than Arnor because most people don't know what Arnor is.
There we go.
However, I think these look awesome.
Still good looking models.
Support Arnor a little bit better, I would be happy to have a little Arnor force.
There we go. No, not bad looking. Good looking horses.
All right, moving along to April 15th. They had some rules for the Dark Oath.
Yes.
Did you look at these?
I have not actually read them over, so this is a great time to look them over.
So first off, like, if this is tempting to me. Like, I'm doing my best.
Okay.
I'm on top of it. I'm not going to start the force. I'm not going to start the army because I don't want to start an army of another essentially Fire Slayer army that has 4 units.
You don't want to do the same thing all over again and paint a bunch of flesh again?
At least this time they're just getting the contrast. Whereas since I painted a full army and a half, 2.5 armies worth of Fire Slayers a certain way, I have to still paint them that way, which is no longer convenient. These guys are getting Gulliman flesh, and we move on to
Gotcha.
But there's something about the narrative of this is what your common, like, if you were to take your average human in the Mortal
Yeah.
Realms, this is what it is. Not Cities
Hmm.
of Sigmar. This.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting to think that actually the vast majorities are these warring tribes all over the realms. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so their big thing is their oaths, where
Okay.
they have something that they have basically taken an oath that they will do in the battle upcoming, and if they do it,
Mhm.
they get a little boost. So
Okay.
here we have Oath of the Marauder. If you make an unmodified charge roll of 7 plus for this unit, and this unit makes a charge move with that charge roll, it fulfills its oath. Once this unit fulfills its oath until the end of the battle, the rend characteristic of the Raider's weapon or Dark Iron Spear is -1 instead of nothing.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
That's neat. Now, again, I
Just
couldn't do a 7-inch charge to save my life, but that's neither here.
right, right. But for the rest of us who will obviously hit the greater than average or more, we're going to get an extra -1 on our basic dude's melee weapon. Cool.
And so we
Yeah.
have so then we have the hero on horse. Now,
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that some people are complaining about not being able to have a plain horse face on this model. First off, just get past the damn thing. There's a million and a half horses like this in this game right now. Second,
There are.
the mouthpiece is actually a weapon on the profile, so no, they're not going to have one without that.
Oh, I didn't realize that the mouthpiece was a weapon. So yeah,
Yeah.
nope, it makes sense then.
So
We need to make a unicorn horn version one then.
there you go.
There we
Happy
are.
Sparkly. Give
Yep.
this guy He-Man.
Exactly.
So for the main hero, if this unit was the first friendly unit picked to fight in your combat phase after it has fought, this unit fulfills its oath. Once this unit fulfills its oath and until the end of the battle, add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly mortal dark oath units while they are wholly within 12 inches of this unit. Ooh.
Yeah. So if you say this guy fights first and allow your opponent to fight first somewhere else after you've made the charge into your turn, everyone wholly within 12 is going to get that +1 to wound. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Now, I won't go into this whole thing here because it just starts to...
It gets a little wordy. Yeah.
It starts getting everything going here.
Mhm.
Again, this time around, this month, it's been a lot of Honest Wargamer Man. He did an amazing video on this and how there's a way to bring back heroes, and there's a way to build this so that whenever you bring back heroes, the what are they called? Wilder Fiends or something?
Okay.
Anyways, if you look at the first picture here up front, there's like the little guy with his like gums turned inside out.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the back. So whenever a hero dies, there's a way you can put one of them on the board,
Oh.
and then there's a way to then put them back on the table.
So you got your hero back and this other dude on the table.
Right, and I think, again, guys, I didn't memorize this, so I could be off here. I think there's also a way that these guys bring heroes back to the table.
So what you're saying is there will always be heroes in this army.
Right.
It is going to be like Corn, where you were going to max out your hero selection more than likely, or you will come close to it. And if somebody dies, don't worry about it. They're going to stand back up.
So they just populate. But yeah,
Yes, exactly.
These guys look really cool, really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be competitive.
I
think
mean,
they're going to be fun.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, we only have this to look at for a little while. Who knows what all the other war scrolls are going to look at?
Yeah.
What they'll look like. I mean, it will matter. They might be amazing.
Oh, I forgot. We have a battle scroll to go through. April 18th.
Oh, yes.
We had a surprise battle battle scroll.
I don't know how surprised it was. It was the one we should have gotten forever ago.
Light King's got 2-inch reach.
Yep.
Alariel's Antlers got 3-inch. Spite Revenant's got 2. Flesh Eater's got a thingy.
Yes.
And then a lot of like decent point changes.
Yeah, actually good. I mean, great. What? April, May, June, July, August. You might get 3-4 months out of this. So
yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, they were decent.
The 10-point drop on the Auric Rune Sun changes the game.
Is that what did it?
Changes the game.
Does it? No. Does it? Huge change. We're going places, kids. It's huge.
Yeah. The I said, I mean, it's. I see your list went down again.
Yeah, no, we went down again. It's all units I don't run right now, so good call on dropping those points. Yeah.
I was happy to see Krondus finally below 500 points.
Yep. No, that was a good choice. I agree with that.
I still don't know what world they're like. Karazai, man, that's where the juice gets the squeeze from, baby. Like,
yep.
Where are you playing your games?
Off in their own little world. It's okay.
Have you ever seen a Karazai in a winning list? I've seen Krondus a little bit from good players, but I've never seen a Karazai.
I mean, every once in a while, people are like, I'm going to bring both of them because it's fun. Right. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
Tempestors. I fought Tempestors this weekend from our buddy Mike. 10 points is not nearly enough.
Okay.
Everblaze Comet. Have you looked at the Everblaze Comet rules now?
Currently, no. From what I remember, it was like you dropped it down once onto somebody's head. Yeah. It did some damage. Yeah. If you stood next to it, it kept doing damage.
Yeah, well, it still does that, except for it doesn't do that second part anymore.
Oh.
It literally comes down and does splash damage once, and then it doesn't do anything else until someone dispels it.
Why does it need to be 100 points?
It should be 30.
Okay.
It is terrible. I still think the Vigilers are a little too high. I think Vigilers should probably be 120 to 130, but who cares? Like,
okay.
That's kind of the point. That's where we are.
Right.
Who cares?
Here's the thing.
You're high. Sure. Whatever.
Come to us, end of July, end of August. We'll be like, yeah, who cared about those point changes back in that battle scroll in April? That's fine.
Now I'll look at this. So if we look at Seraphon.
Yes.
I think the Source Guard changes was dumb. I think you got to go up on the... Or no, the Source Guard is fine. I think it's Source Warriors, which they didn't touch.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about. These are the type of point changes. It doesn't do anything if you just raise all points.
Right. Yes.
You have to give us a place to go. Like, I mean, again, I'm looking at my Soulblight list, which thankfully they also went down here. But prior to this, it was like, okay, well, everything just costs more, so I'll just take out my endless spell.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, oh no! Now you saved them from Emerald Lightswarm. That's
yes. That's it. I mean, yeah. No, the Blades of Corn going up a lot across the board was very interesting. Whenever I went to go build our list for our game, I went, oh, I can't fit one of these endless prayers in that I normally do. Okay, that's gone.
Yeah, again.
So, yeah.
Again, consider these assholes are the ones that got rid of Valkia the Bloody.
Yeah, really.
Just make her 80 points for a couple months, man.
Yeah, just let us all go nuts with her for a few months here.
Like, the second week in June, they just need to,
right.
Everyone, checklist.
For this week and this week only, free.
Right, checklist 400, Gotrek 120.
There we go.
Just really just
just GW be like that uncle that doesn't actually care that he's got to watch you. Yeah. I don't care, kid. Play with the firecracker. Go ahead and
sure, you could have
grab.
a beer. I don't care.
Yeah,
Still tell your
I
mom.
don't care. Archeon? Yeah, I don't know, man. He's like 400 points this week. Why not?
Archeon, he's now an allegiance ability. Good job.
There we go.
All right. So then we have April 19th. I don't have much to say about this one.
Uh-oh.
Boy. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Do you
40
know what
seconds?
I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about 40 seconds?
No, hit me with it. What are we talking about?
So we're talking about the Lady Elise Ducard
Right.
on her unicorn mount.
Right.
That's sold out within
I don't know.
40
I'm
seconds.
not... Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed it. It took 40 seconds to sell that out. Wow.
We need to get our buddy from a couple months ago to touch base with GW to help them figure out how to fix that.
I mean, I'm pretty certain our buddy from then was saying he doesn't know how to fix it either. But like, I feel like this is basically a made-to-order model in my mind, or at least it should have been.
I mean, even if it wasn't, you then open it up back up like the next day or the next week and say,
you're like, if you're okay with waiting, it'll be here. Yeah.
Right. But no, and again, like, it would even be one thing, like, you just come out and say something. You can't just...
Right. Just be like, hey, guys, we see it sold out real quick. We were not anticipating that. Like, Old World's going better than we expected, so delays are occurring. Just say something. Call us assholes. I mean, you should not have bought so many so quickly, you assholes.
Right. It's like people that have normal jobs, like, get on a Zoom meeting and they're just no clothes, and they just turn it off, log off for the day, come back the next day, and don't even bring it up. Like,
nobody even talks about it. Everyone's wondering, but they don't say anything.
You gotta address it, man. Gotta address it.
You do.
Moving along, but after that black eye, April 22nd, the White Dwarf returns from the 500th issue of White Dwarf.
Yeah.
It's
the cool big one. Yeah.
I don't think it's getting any special rules or anything. I don't think I read.
No, I think they just put them out. I don't think they normally have any special rules. It's just another great looking White Dwarf model to add to the collection.
I mean, you can easily, honestly, with this, you could easily have that count as like a Thane or a Warden King on another.
Oh, 100%.
You can have it on Gotrek. I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, this model can be used a lot of different places, and I don't think anyone would argue with it. No. They'd just be happy to see one of the White Dwarves out.
I'll try to pre-order it, but I don't know if I could do it in 40 seconds.
Well, this one will be 32 seconds, probably.
It's a dwarf. No one likes dwarfs.
Yeah.
Then today, the day of recording, April 30th, 3 Legends of Old World for Battle for Supremacy in the new Thrones of Decay DLC for Total Warhammer 3. So I picked this up. There's 3 individual packages you can pick up. It's very interesting. So the last one they did was for Tzeentch, Kislev, and Cathay.
Okay.
And they did the pre-order, and it all blew up in their face because there wasn't enough in. Blah blah blah. I don't even remember the whole thing, but they were upset.
Right? I remember that being a little bit of controversy with it.
And there was a lot of grumbling to be had. So this time they were like, okay, double the information, or double the stuff we get.
Let me show you what you're getting. Here's a lot more of it.
We're gonna get you more stuff. We're gonna do more overhaul. And we're also going to break them up into each individual legendary lord. So if you don't want all 3, you don't have to buy all 3. But if you buy all 3, the last one will get a 15% discount.
Cool.
And so the only one I don't even know is Elspeth from Empire.
Yeah.
Apparently she's a powerful amethyst wizard who wields the sinister lore of death in service to the city of Nuln, where they make a lot of oil. Other than that, the other 2 I do know.
Okay.
So the surprisingly, I'm even surprising myself. The one that I'm actually mostly surprised or interested in is Tamarkon.
Really?
Yes. So Tamarkon, the Maggot Lord. So essentially, if you do you have the article out?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So do you see Tamarkon in the middle?
I see Tomercon, yeah.
So he is the one in eighth edition. You remember how the Chaos Dwarf rules were not in a battle tome or an army book; they were in another book.
Yes.
They were in Tamarkon's book.
Oh, okay.
So Tamarkon, what he is not. That is not his body.
Okay.
He is a sentient maggot.
That has control of that body.
Yes, and so that is an ogre body that has been infected with
Infected with Tomercon.
yeah, Tamarkon and a
The
whole bunch of
maggot.
Nurgle ooze. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Why not? Why not?
And then
That
he
sounds
has
like grandfather Nurgle to me.
and so this guy did come out first, but I think pretty sure it came out first. His mount looks like a big Kodo from World of Warcraft, and his name is it's just the name of the disease, very common one, but I can't I'm blanking on now. And then of course the Dwarven Slayer Engineer Malachi Makaisen, who's essentially the first KO.
Yeah, no, that's he's the first KO. I'm sitting here and I was looking at pictures and went, is that a KO blimp in the wait a second.
So all of his stuff it was all Forge World only stuff. And
Okay.
most of it was banned from tournaments.
Oh,
Because it was
okay.
just they just came up with rules and they're just like
They did. I don't know what we were just saying about GW earlier. I don't know, Timmy. You just get it for free.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't care.
Yep.
So
Yep.
again, the other thing I really liked about this, since
Hmm.
they were kind of like about the last one, no pre-orders at all. It went up for sale the second you could buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
like that.
now I do have to. I feel bad for anyone who would be getting into Total War Warhammer at all at this point, because you're looking at a hell of an investment.
You are. Yeah. No, I looked across what's been spent on it over the last, was it 7, 8 years now that they've
Well,
gotten these three out?
so here's the thing. So they imported. So for Total War 3, Warhammer.
Hmm.
I'm just going to say Total War,
Yep.
and we're talking about Warhammer. They you can use all legendary lords from Total Warhammer 1 and 2.
Right.
So it has this just insane roster of
Huge roster to start off.
first off,
Okay.
it is a complete roster of every army in fantasy at this point.
Cool.
And I might be missing one or two. I didn't play that much fantasy. Leave me alone.
It's okay.
It looks like all of them to me.
It's a lot. Yes.
And then you go in, and then the legendary lords are who you want to be like the head of your army.
Hmm.
Do you have any of them?
One or two. If I remember off the top of my head, I would be lying to you, but I did buy a pack or two, I think.
Yeah, and so that's one thing that you kind of have to you have to remember. They go on sale pretty frequently, and you don't need everything. Like, I'm not playing Wood Elves. Like, that's
No.
I try to play them a little bit just because I bought the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I bought everything as it's been coming out. So, like, to me, it's only just been like $30 purchases here and there. But it's been $30
Right.
purchases here and there for a decade. So,
Yes.
so like I said, give it a check. Watch from reviews. If you think it looks good, give them a buy.
Heck yeah.
All right. So that is all the news we had. All the news we had this time around.
All
Like I said,
right.
everything was pretty heavily.
Fourth ed hype.
Yeah. But we did have a couple rumor engines. I don't remember where we left off, so we're just going to go ahead and go from wherever heck I feel like it, starting April 9th.
Yeah, I think that's correct because I think the second was the coral thing. Yeah, so
That's what I remember too. So we got
yeah,
Fleur de Lis and a
yes, we have a fleur de lis. So this is some sort of Sisters of Battle thing, more than likely.
I was going to say
Uh,
that Bertoni entered the industrial age. That's
geez, I didn't think of it from that angle. This is actually just a piece of terrain, I think, is what it
so
is.
this is obviously either going to be a Sister of Battle thing, or someone's going to be like a Sister of Battle enemy, and this is just like a piece of junk coming out of terrain.
Yep, yep.
But I think it is.
I only say it's terrain is because it looks like it's broken off.
Yeah. I think it's also
So,
like. I think it's.
yeah. Yep.
Nothing too exciting there. Okay, so
No,
now we have a
no.
little bit of wiggle room here from the 16th.
Yeah, what is hanging off of this banner? A lot of little trinkets.
So there's a lot of things going. There's not. It doesn't show a lot, but it tells a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a staff, so some sort of wizard something.
Yeah, I could give you a staff or perhaps just a banner of some sort. It's yeah. These trinkets are not anything of the destruction era, nor do I feel they're chaos of any sort.
I mean, it's just
So
a coin and a dangly. I don't know if it's a
yeah, but it's definitely. I feel like it's an order thing, whatever it is, whatever we're looking at right now, or at least that's the feeling I'm
I know
getting.
you're gonna roll your eyes, but I am gonna say it's Dwarden.
Whoever would have thought? No, you're. I can see that.
And here's why. I'll go for the two things why.
Okay.
One, these little teeth could be cogs to a gear.
Okay. So we are going. Yep, I can see that.
And then on top of that, if you look at between the teeth, like where the staff goes into the body, you see like layered plating.
Yeah.
I've painted that very particular thing a couple times throughout all of these Fire Slayer. I don't have any on hand. Fire Slayer,
Their armor plates.
I was going to say they're courtesy blind, but
Okay. Their loincloth, as you
Yeah.
put it.
yeah,
Yes.
there's it's a common. It's one of like the four different things they have is like they'll have like the head of the Dwarden buckle or whatever, and then those plates will be coming down.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. Could be. I don't. It doesn't. If they are formally bringing together Fire Slayers and KO,
That's what I was about to ask you because that's what you were suggesting with a
it could
cog and a Fire Slayer piece. Would be interesting.
Now, Malachi is just now coming out, but that's still a pretty big pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to rehash the whole thing too much because I'm sort of sick of it. But I think the only way you'd ever actually be able to fully, if you want to integrate the armies, bring all the dwarfs together, as opposed to doing like Cruel Boys and Iron Jaws, where you actually have a big beard, it's that big wad. The problem is Fire Slayers are really going to take a back seat. Because it's basically going to be you're going to have to come out with a whole new sect of some sort of defensive line because KO is going to bring the shooting, Fire Slayers are going to bring the offense.
Okay.
And so you're basically going to have a Dwarden army, and then you're going to have Fire Slayers.
What about the more disappointing route where it's 3 heroes and maybe a unit of something?
Well, so here's the thing: is you could probably unify them with 1 hero and maybe 2 units. If you literally just had like I don't know, some sort of just ground commander or something.
Right. Yeah. Just an on foot KO. Yeah.
Just some sort of ground commander.
Yep.
Them in some sort of ground vehicle, whether it's a tank, a golem, a mech, a motorcycle.
Yes.
And then another unit with some armor and a shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't need any more.
No, you're right. Yeah. Let's do some sort of boarding party of fire slayers. Yeah.
You don't bring up boarding party. Oh my gosh. We already have Arcanauts. They didn't work out so great.
No. We're gonna get better ones now. It's fine.
So I'm gonna say it's some sort of Dwarven thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Chaos Dwarves, but it's not chaosy enough.
No, definitely too clean lines.
So to the 23rd, we got a Chaos Dwarf glove. We got a
Oh, okay. Chaos Dwarf glove. Gotcha. Yeah. So my first instinct was to say Commissar Yark, but the claws, like after the claw coming closer to the arm, is too clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I was weird. So like I don't believe my first instinct either. My first instinct was going to be New Soul Grinder. But again,
okay. Yep, too clean.
I don't understand. Like, I don't know what is this clean and dirty and jagged at the same time.
Right. Yeah, it's jagged, but still kind of a clean design, missing a lot of paint. What is it?
Necromunda.
Oh, it might be. It's very well might be.
It's going to be out of left field. That everyone's going to be like, "Oh, thanks. It looks cool."
Fair enough. I'll hold out for like the 5th Battle of Armageddon or whatever. You know, it's fine.
All right. So from the 30th.
This is some sort of power crackling through rocks and picking them up.
I kind of want to go back and see if I could find the last Stormcast unit that came out for Underworlds, because I think it's just that guy already. I think we already got that model.
Wait, didn't you already show us this?
So I am going to say that this is Stormcast. This is part of Ruination Chamber.
I could be.
But here's the thing: is like it could also with it, no. I think it'd be cleaner. I think this might be Skaven.
Oh, it could be Skaven. Yeah, this could be some Warp Lightning we're seeing pull something up.
That's a little more.
That could be a very fun one. I was going to be real mean and just be like, it's another Incarnate. But yeah, no, this is... that makes a lot more sense, you know?
Oh, we'll get back. We'll get to Incarnates. Oh, man. Fucking Incarnates, man.
Oh, yeah. I know. They're your favorite.
I don't think we got your take on the squattening. Did we?
No, I don't think that. No, because it was just you during the Mega Minute. So my take on the squattening is, first off, GW's done this in the past. So
to this extent,
to say no. To this extent, no. Have they done kind of recently, especially with cities, a large swath of we're cutting this off? Yes. And that even wasn't, I mean, it was a huge loss for the city's armies, to be honest. Because you essentially had to buy a brand new army to get into what is the current cities of Sigmar and all that. But yeah, just completely lopping off the Beastman army was big. All the Stormcast stuff, everyone who owns a Stormcast model of those old models is just going to reuse them and not buy the new models unless they are like just that in love with the new sculpts, which I understand. New sculpts look much better than the old ones. Won't argue that at all. But geez, did it feel wrong for like getting rid of an entire chamber? That was rough. I say this as somebody who bought into Sacrosanct. I've got like yeah, I've got like 60 models or something for it.
Well,
So
I have a full 2,000 point army painted, and I think I have probably close to 3,500 points worth.
yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah. No, that's a tough one to swallow that you're doing that to folks. And yeah, the models truly aren't that old. At least with what we were cutting off in the cities cut, those were some models that were old. Like some of them might not have quite been 2000s. I think they all were by the end, but there were some that probably were first released in the 90s. And it was like, I kind of get it.
What's weird is I'm shocked that Dark Elves and um, Dispossessed weren't just axed here.
Yes, I honestly expected them to do that.
Yeah.
If they were going to do this at all, this would have been the time because you're going to get all the flack for doing it anyway. Just tear the band-aid off at once and be done with it.
Right.
So it makes you wonder what might be in store for those armies in the future if we're not saying forget about them completely. I think that's being a little too hopeful.
Right.
And that very well may have just been missed in this round of cuts.
And again, like with Dark Elves, with Dispossessed, you have a better argument for getting rid of them because all of the models that are there are used in Old World, and it's very public at this point that
that we are
Forge
not
World
supposed to cross the streams.
Right. Forge
Yeah.
World and GW do not play together. They
Yes.
play in the same sandbox, but they are not allowed to touch each other's sand. That's
Right. Which is
juvenile.
just the dumbest thing in the world. Yeah.
It's juvenile, and they need to get over it. And you don't need to necessarily worry what people are doing with the models that they're buying from you, just so much as they're buying the models from you. Because again,
Right.
remember, you're a modeling company.
Yes. Yes, you are. But no, that was a pretty big blow as far as I was concerned, just to see. I know that I had kind of half joked that our buddy Brad is going to be very sad about the Bone Splitters leaving. I know a couple of people that have built and collected Bone Splitters armies that are like diehard, not just Brad. I've seen around at tournaments that, boy, I feel real bad for them. Like, seriously. Those were really cool.
And they were like, oh, well, they're not going over to Old World. They're just going away. And I'm like, why? It's 3 kits?
Right.
4 kits?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure you can just not do the next house of whatever for Necromunda that's not going to sell.
Right.
It's
No.
probably going to sell the same amount.
No, but I feel like the delays in getting product out that we've talked about in the past couple of months here are probably also a part of this. It's, well, if we cut the Bone Splitters and the Beastmen, that opens up all this production because we only ever do a limited run of these things. And whenever we do that, they have setup time, which is extra amount longer. And if we don't do these, then we just can get more things out more consistently.
Well, so like here's one thing that I'm pulling up Warhammer here to the other games. Like, okay, let's see. Do we need Kill Team Necromunda and Blackstone Fortress?
I agree with that. Now, I know a lot of people were very happy for Necromunda to come out. Probably doesn't have to be focused on as hard.
Right. Again, that's the thing. It's like I don't know anybody that plays Necromunda. I'm not saying there aren't people that play Necromunda.
Oh, there definitely are. But I don't know them either. I know a lot more people who play Kill Team, and that feels like a much more sustainable one to keep because you're just reusing the 40K models that you already have.
That's one of the issues that I always had, like from day one of Necromunda. You already had Shadow War Armageddon that was old Necromunda. This Necromunda is a new Necromunda. All you had to do was just keep Shadow War Armageddon, and then just release new models for that, and you don't have to worry about all this other stuff. And then whenever you get to the point where, hey, guess what? We have all the houses we've had, or hey, we can't keep producing things. We need to put points elsewhere.
Right.
You can still have people go, well, I'm just going to put my one Custode as my Necromunda team and see how many people it takes to take me down. Like,
right. Yeah. For the fun of it. Yeah.
but it's same thing. Like Underworlds. Underworlds is so spiraled at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives
Yeah.
a-
No. Underworlds is honestly, I don't know too many people that are actually taking the time to play Underworlds at this point.
Like I don't remember the last time there was a warband that I was excited about. I guess it was the Stormcast.
I only ever buy the warbands because I'm like, I want to keep owning the entirety of the army. Like, that's the only reason I have for it at this point, you know?
The only time I buy them is because I hate bringing warbands to AoS.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so clunky. I don't like it.
It's a pain. Yeah.
And I don't mind when people do it. It's just not for
right.
me. I don't want to put it in
yeah.
my list. I have no care or concern if you put it on yours. So, but like, I do it if I go, ooh, I like that army. I've been wanting to paint it.
There you go. Yeah.
And
I'd like to just paint a tasting. Thank you.
Right. Lightning Rod Zealots doesn't necessarily do it for me. Or
right.
the 4th warband with undead. I just don't care.
Right. Yeah.
And again, Curse City.
Yeah, GW dropped the ball on Curse City, I think. Yep.
Okay, now let's look at Titanicus and Legions Imperialis. If you're having these many issues, why did you even come out with Legions Imperialis?
Yeah, I know of a person who's in the Legions Imperialis, but I don't know that he's like found a group or anything yet to play it with.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Imperialis should have been their foray into the STL market.
You're probably right.
Because again, the models suck.
They're simple. Good way of putting it. They're simple. They could have been spit out by a lower end 3D printer.
Have you seen the comparisons to the old? What was the other game? What was it called? Can't remember what it was called whenever it was out before.
What did it do? Was it?
It was the same game. It was just.
It was space ships or something like that.
No, you're thinking of Aeronautica.
Yeah.
Aeronautica's been gone for a couple months now. But no.
Okay.
I forget if it was like early 2000s or 90s. There was Legion Epic. That was the name of it.
Epic. Yeah.
So again, it was just like I saw a video comparing Epic models to Legions Imperialis models.
Mm-hmm.
Epics are better.
That's a problem.
Like, Epics are better. Every STL out there you can find is better. Here, GW is the bottom of the barrel, including themselves from 20 years ago. Which
is almost impressive that you can slide that far backwards. But, you know.
And then Blood Bowl, it's great. It's fun. But if you're having production issues, maybe outsource that. But again, here's the other thing: is like that seems to be like it seems like the passion that came from the sculpts of the underworld has gone to Blood Bowl.
I agree with that. Yeah, a lot of I think Blood Bowl is selling better than what we realized.
I think it is too, but
but that's why I think that passion may have moved over.
I don't know.
Those sculptors just got told you're going to work on some fantasy football teams now. Actual fantasy football, it's not.
And again, like, and just so I'm not completely missing out on it, you know, there is Middle Earth, but like these sculpts have already paid for themselves, and like every Middle Earth sculpt is actually one of their highest money earners.
Well, yeah, on a amount per box sold, they're huge margins. Now, I think part of why they are as expensive as they are, because that is definitely a low production run
Absolutely.
anytime they do those. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Well, yeah,
agree.
that's the thing is they've probably already printed out all that they are going to use for 2024. Like,
Yes, yeah, definitely.
as much as I love the game,
Or at least it's already been scheduled in production, and they know whatever it'll be that they need for 24, and they're going to make for 25 as well, because
right?
we're not playing with this again next year.
All right, okay. Enough with that. Here, let's move on. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah,
Let's see. Where are you?
the good stuff here.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with April 3rd. Again, I forget where we left off, but we got a lot.
We'll start here.
So, how building your army has changed in hashtag new AoS.
Yeah.
So they basically go down here and they talk about everything's going to be regiments now. So you choose a hero, and then each hero gets to have 3 units underneath of them, and you can reinforce. If you want to reinforce, double point cost and unit size. There's no more triple reinforcing.
Right.
I really would have liked to. I'm fine with. We'll see how they do things to see how I feel about the triple reinforcement going on.
Okay.
Because right now, one thing I've learned about running at 1,000 points of Soul Blight
Yep.
is 40 zombies is not a problem.
Right. 40 wounds can be done and pick them up before they do anything.
Now again, so here, let me our disclaimer, which I think I'm just going to get
yes.
out. We are aware that things are going to be changing and things are going to be different. We know that
right. Disclaimer: the entire rule set is not out yet. All of these are opinions with no idea what the hell we're actually going to be playing.
we are looking at the clock with the pieces that we have, and we're trying to figure out, will this clock work and how many seconds is 1 second on this clock.
And as it turns out, we don't have all the pieces set to said clock, but we don't know that yet. It'll be okay.
Can we be wrong? Yes, but we're passionate.
Not only that, so we will be wrong.
Hey, if you
will be wrong.
Go back and watch the 3E prediction video, and I was right a decent amount. A surprise.
Well, here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. We'll find out.
Now, again, like I said, though, we're passionate about it, and if you are passionate about Age of Sigmar, third person you, not Cole you, viewer.
No.
If you're reading these and you're not, and you're like, well, okay, well, we'll see where we go with that. You're lying. You are trying.
They're just much more calm individuals than we. That's all.
There's nothing. There's nothing but serenity on this channel. All right, I don't know what you're talking about.
There's never any hot takes, never any anger directed anywhere.
No. It's all.
We definitely call out a multi-billion-dollar company at any point in time. Enlightenment. Everyone strap in for some enlightenment.
Yeah. So as far as this goes, they're talking here in case of Lumineth Realm Lords, for instance, Venari Bannerblade can in the case of the Lumineth Realm Lords, for instance, the Venari Bannerblade can include any Venari units in their regiment, while an Alarith Stone Mage can be accompanied by their signature Alarith units. Okay, just had to keep going for the grammar to work. That's all it was.
Yeah, you're good.
It was a weird structure. We'd start with it. But anyways, so it does look like there's going to be some restrictions on what units a hero can take.
Yeah.
Now, real quick here. Let's see here. We're going to go to Parabellum.
Off to Parabellum we go. Oh, boy. I wonder what it is that I'm going to see.
Well, you'll have to wait till Saturday to watch the episode to find out.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so if we go to the Army Builder.
Mm-hmm. Are you about to suggest what I think you're about to suggest?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just comparing.
You're just bringing up a comparison.
Yeah,
I understand.
We're going to prepare for war, and what army are we going to make? What do you want to make? A city of city-states?
Sure, city states sounds
City
great.
states. Okay, so we're going to call city states, we're going to call it not Greece.
Not Greece, yes.
All right, so then we come in here and we pick a hero to form a war band. So
A war band. A war band similar to a regiment, maybe?
It's kind of like a regiment, except for it came out first. That's
Oh, okay.
So here we're going to pull out this air starch here. And so now, here's a button that says add to regiment.
Okay.
So here we have mainstay and we have restricted. So as opposed to 4th edition, in here, each hero can have up to 4 units underneath them. And for every mainstay they choose, they can also choose a restricted. So you can do 4 mainstays, 3 mainstays and a restricted, or 2 and 2. So as you see, here's a set number of mainstay units that you can pick, and here's a set list of restricted that you can pick. Now, if you know anything about this, you're like, well, hey, look, here's the big Promethean guy. That's the real big looking dude who's kind of cool looking. But where's the other guy? Okay, well, so we'll give this guy a hoplite unit, and we'll give him a Promethean unit. Then we'll start another warband. We'll go with a machinist.
Sure.
And the machinist, oh, there's the Hapation. But, as you can see, I get a little error here because I don't have enough mainstay. So I'll just go in and pick I'll pick some Thorakides. Probably Thorakides.
Yeah, probably Achaedes.
Hercules. And Socrates.
Yeah. However you say that.
And for people that are not familiar with Conquest, I'd like to point out here, you'll see a little, just the symbol with no picture called the Clockwork Hoplites, or Hoplides. That I think is going to be Hoplites, though. This is a unit that has not been released yet, and we don't have models for it. However, they know that they're coming out at some point, so they went ahead and just gave us the rules for it, so you have the full army now. But that's
there we go.
There. So, So it's it's a little bit like that, except for a little more bumper bowling. A little more bumper bowling.
It's going to be very interesting that you need to take a hero with a particular keyword in order to unlock units of that keyword, it appears.
I'm not against it. Again, I think my biggest issue is they have a very hard time giving a large number of units individual roles.
Yes.
And I think that's, I kind of stated that as an opinion. I kind of feel it is pretty, or kind of like more like a fact. And I feel it's kind of hard to argue that they're not the greatest at balancing multiple units that are similar to one another.
Yeah, and I think that the recent culling may be an admission of that.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're just like, hey, we just want Thunder. We want Thunderstrike at this point. We don't want any of that.
Fair enough.
And like magic, what were we thinking? They should have been priests.
Yes, they should have been.
Oh man, now I would.
They see their literal god.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, hey, Dad, can I have the keys? Did you roll 3 up? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. If this man doesn't answer this, when I die, I'm going to see him later and we're going to have a chat.
What the hell, Dad?
Yeah, exactly.
You clean up your room before you left, son.
I was fighting a chaos demon. Well,
now you forget what turkey tastes like. Surprise. Also, regiments will deploy together and will blah, blah, blah.
Yep, they are a drop for the purposes
I'm
of...
fine with, again,
yeah.
The thing that I have the issue with is just the whoever has the least amount of drops is just the guy that auto-chooses whether you go first or second. Let's go back to roll off and you get +1. Or you break
I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
The same thing. That's really the same thing. But
right, yeah.
Just because, like, I feel like list building is so focused on, are you a 0 drop? Are you a 1
Right.
drop?
Are you 1, 2, 3? And if you aren't, go ahead and be a 25 drop. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
But so again, so I said, I don't have an issue with this as is, because again, battle line, behemoths, and artillery, which really, they've really kind of gotten rid of the importance of those over the years.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just it just feels odd that it's like, why would I take a liberator when I can take a whatever and 4 retributors or 4
Right.
fulminators, like or 3 fulminators. Like, that just seems, you have to have something in there. And like, there's nothing in here saying that it isn't more like Conquest.
Right.
But they also talk about auxiliary units where they're just like, hey, you can't fit them anywhere. Well, okay, you can still put them in.
Right. Yeah. So
weird.
even if you don't have the keyword deal figured out, you can just say, it's fine.
It's a weird.
It's an interesting system. We'll see how it looks whenever we actually go to build it. I think we're going to run into some issues for some of the armies that have less units already out for them.
I don't think we're going to run into issues. I think we're just going to run into issues with armies that we have a bunch of units for.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why am I taking the battle line stuff that I was forced to take before for the few armies remaining that still impacts? Like,
yeah. No, you're right.
We'll see. So, all right.
It will be interesting.
So we're going to start a new thing here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a quick judge. We're going to do here's ranking for this.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, nothing. 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs
down.
Right. Double down, 1 down, 1 up, 2 up.
Okay.
What's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, so okay, from what we talked about so far, the one thing that I'm actually interested about and has me slightly, hey, what's going on here, is the +1 command point per battle round for being the low drop guy. Has me a little concerned because we are going back to the same old get as low drops as possible, push to the bottom.
I thought we learned our lesson about this.
Right. So right now I'm meh simply because, well, yeah, we're playing this game already.
Right. That's one of the things that drives me up the wall. Like, so this is one thing where I think, Matt Rose is really putting he's got a lot riding on this edition, because I don't know if you watch any like the meta videos that they put out all the time.
Can't say I do.
So I watch them because I really like his views and how he views data.
Okay.
What I'm concerned about is like he'll talk about something very intelligently, very knowledgeably. Like he sees the whole thing.
Right.
And then it seems like whenever the product comes out, it doesn't seem to carry the data with it.
Okay.
So one of the examples is, one of the things that he talks about frequently is he talks about how that he doesn't like how players feel the need to get something shoved into a battle regiment, and they're leaving the lore and the narrative of the army behind so they can get a better advantage on the table by going first, or determining who goes first.
Oh yeah, no, I have 100% gone. It could be fun to get this extra enhancement to play in the game. Nah, 1 drop.
Right. And so here I'm a little sad to see that we're kind of just doing the same thing. We're just instead of English, we're speaking Pig Latin. Like, it's
yes, yeah.
So for me, I'm going to give it a hesitant 1 thumb down.
Okay.
Again, I'm not saying that it's, when the game's out, I'll probably be meh, but
right,
based on the potential, 1 thumb down.
Understood.
All right. So then on the 4th, so here we got the leaving. the leaving thing.
Yes, what's leaving? Yep.
The one thing we didn't talk about that I'm still shocked about is all of the Warcry warbands.
Yeah, that was interesting. I'm curious if, since those are leaving Age of Sigmar, we just flat out not reproducing them then, I assume.
Well,
and this next year is your only chance.
With the arrival of the Dark Oath, the Slaves to Darkness have finally found their definitive mortal followers. This means that the number of warbands representing the wider worshippers of chaos in the mortal realms will be retiring from the spotlight and the range. This mostly involves warbands from the previous edition of Warcry, as well as Khadgar's Ravagers from Warhammer's Underworlds, but they'll all get legends. So the models are being retired, and I didn't think Horns of a Shut were from last edition.
I thought they were on the newer side, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of these Warcry warbands, as far as I'm concerned, very new.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I think it's sad. So I'm sad to see them no longer be usable.
Yeah.
But I never liked the way they had them incorporated. Like, oh, the box has a bunch of weird different size bases, so we'll just figure out a way to throw them in there and you have a unit of 8. Like, I'm like,
right.
Why don't you, like, it's not supposed to be in this game, you can make them buy more than one box. Like, that's... and then the, just to preserve, I'm surprised that the Herdstone isn't becoming just generic terrain.
Yeah, I mean,
and
why not? But
I don't remember the Beast of Chaos endless spells being... I mean, of course, they're like animal-like.
Right.
Just moving to be general endless spells. Like, don't... Like, you always gripe and groan about how expensive these friggin' molds are. Use them. You made them.
Yeah, the Beast of Chaos Beast Lord was a very new sculpt. I think that was within a year or two. So sad to see it go as well. But obviously, if you're axing the whole army, can't keep just him around.
I mean, you could slide him into Slaves of Darkness or Z
yeah.
or something. Yeah, and then again, I feel bad for the rest of the resin line, but
yeah, definitely
is what it is. Maybe we'll get a new Valkia someday. All right, well, that was an easy one.
Yep.
All right, Anatomy of a War Scroll. So here we have the War Scroll. Just looking at the Liberator thing.
Yeah.
We all know gaming, so we don't necessarily need to know the what's what here. We can just see that and figure that one out.
Yeah.
So, first off, if Stormcasts go up to 5-inch moves across the board,
yep,
I'll be pleased.
I thought that basic Liberators were always a 5-inch move.
They might be. I don't remember. No, you're right. I'm thinking of the Paladins that are just the 4-inch.
You are. They're 4-inch move.
Sorry, guys. I don't have every war scroll.
Well, what is wrong with you? Why do you not have these memorized?
You're right.
What is wrong with you? And you have a podcast. What the hell?
So I will say, I'm not OCD. So just the street term OCD, I have a tiny bit.
Okay.
Tiny bit. Yeah. Like you see me, like, I don't have to put all my dice back in the case with the 6s up. I just like to.
I could stop anytime you wanted, right?
Look, there are some times where I have gotten tired of it. I just go, whatever, I'm done. But
there you go. The
OCD of having a unit mixed between shields and dual wielding what's essentially just Looney Tune size hammers.
Come on, we love the Looney Tunes hammers.
Like, it's a little much. With them with a shield, fine. That's fine. But like, you have to have the two. Dual wielding has to be different than sword and board.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. There is no difference.
And then also on top of that, if we're just going to go with melee weapon, you have 2 melee weapon. Why would they get rid of swords? Add more options in there. Give them hammers. Give them shields. Give them swords and axes and flails and.
Nope, this simplifies things. Simpler molds, even. It's great. Yeah.
Well, I guess that is true. These are going to be pushed to fit. Oh, which means I'm going to. Oh.
Yep.
God. That
Yep.
means they're going to be. They're going to have to have.
I didn't realize I was going to ruin your night with that one. I thought you already understood what you were going to get. Yep.
That's disgusting. Okay, so
there we go.
These guys don't look.
Hey, it matters if you have a grand hammer, though. It does still matter.
I'll just roll one other colored die. It's the exact same as everything else, which I don't. It's fine by me.
There you go.
Again, with no comparison to any other war scroll, I think these guys are kind of fun.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the crit mortal ability seems like a good idea. I assume that is going to be on a 6 to hit, do a mortal wound, and then stop, which would be cool.
I really like so here's now I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to flash ahead a little bit. Let's do a little flash ahead here. Nope. Sorry guys.
Nope.
I got a thing in my mind and I'm going to do it.
That's all right. They're not here for a professional one. It's fine.
Let's see. I am currently looking for the Vindictor.
Oh, the Vindictor War Scroll?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it before you shoot over to you.
There we go. It is from April 17th.
Okay.
So this kind of like... I mean, I guess you could still use it. So the Vindictors want to be charged. So they're 2 attacks, 3s, rend, 1 damage, and if you charge them, the rend goes to 2.
Yep.
Other than that, if they did not charge at the beginning of the turn, roll a die on a 4+. The unit has strike first.
Cool idea. I like it.
It's cool, and they have a standard bearer that we don't know what that does yet.
Right. Yes.
So the Liberators have. So first off, let's see where we're going.
There you are.
All right, so we're 2 attacks, 3s. Okay, and so we're still
exact same profile.
2 attacks, 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. Except for now we crit.
We have crit instead of +1 rend.
Right.
Yep.
And then on top of that, whenever we are wholly within our territory,
contesting objective.
So
we count as 3 models.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't think I'm here yet.
So we have what? 4 war scrolls.
Yep.
2 of them already step on each other's toes.
Well, yeah, it's Stormcast. They always step on each other's toes.
So here, you know how to fix it? Liberators. Add 3 to the unit's control score while this unit is contesting an objective wholly within its opponent's territory.
Because then they're the attack ones who need to go forward, where the other ones are defense ones that want to get charged. Yep. We are the defenders of Sigmar. Everyone's on defense. Okay? Everyone's on defense.
All the time. Quarterback.
Exactly. Everyone's on defense. We're taking 3 knees and punting. That's what we're going to do, kids.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
So let's dial it back a little bit. Dial it back a little bit. So the overall War Scroll, I think, is fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. I think it's easy to read. I'll get used to I don't. Everyone's talking about how great the colors are. I haven't memorized the colors yet, so I don't.
Yeah, I don't have it memorized off the top of my head either. I'm sure as I take the time to read an entire book,
I'm sure
I will learn the color scheme. Yeah. But that'll be cool.
I like what they did with keywords.
Yes.
I like the keyword system where it gives us more. And this is actually kind of what I wanted, right? This is what we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
It was like, The keywords are our universal, like the keywords and the abilities are our universals. And then we still have things like Stalwart Defenders, which is a unique ability for them.
Yep.
So we're having the best of both worlds for that. So that gets a thumbs up there.
Yeah, still a little bit of flavor in there, which is nice to see.
Right. So other than that, like they're talking about, there's talk in here. Oh, of course we have Nagash.
Yes.
Where we have Wizard 9 fly. I think we might have talked about this. Feels really late in the month.
Yeah, they did. I know. I feel like we had this conversation a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, we
so
I believe they brought up what the wizard is.
Even though it belongs to the literal god of death, Nagash's war scroll, like everyone else's, fits on one side of a card. Who put that restriction on you?
Right.
Who cares? Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you're like, hey,
right, it's arbitrary.
Sometimes we're gonna spill over, but our goal is to be on one side of the card for 70% of the models. Blah blah blah.
Right, okay. A couple of heroes will be on both sides.
Like if Nagash spills over to the second one, okay. If Tekla spills over, all right.
Right. If the actual gods running around the world spill over to both sides of the card, or this one awesome named character in each army, yeah, I'm not upset. I'll flip the card. I can do it.
See, they've already.
Well, they already make the ones that open up
that technology, so there is a way to do it. I mean,
we have the technology.
If anything, here's the real problem: is that they went
vertical.
Yeah, they went portrait. So now, whenever I put them down on the table, they take up more room into the.
That's it.
Because
that's where they messed up.
Less, it goes like.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I use them for giants just to keep track of my wounds.
I don't blame you at all. Might as well.
So okay.
However, just to say, for a new player, these look a lot cleaner and easier to understand.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
compared to the old ones.
That I disagree.
Okay.
I will say they are cleaner. Yes, I'm not saying they're not. But so if you think about the current War Scroll, the very first thing, what does it tell you? The weapons. It tells you everyone in this unit uses this, except for the hero who uses this. We don't have that. We just have to assume.
So I think that's easier because there won't be 15 weapon options there. Everyone can be armed with this or this, because for right now, just based off the Liberator card, I don't care. Is it a Liberator model? Yeah. I don't care if it looks like it has a shield or a second hammer. I don't care if it looks like it has a sword. This is Liberator.
With the Liberator, does he have... Now, again, it does say, so it does put in here 1 and 5.
It does the same thing of 1 and 5.
So that's still on there, but then it's like, okay, it kind of, it just comes out and tells you this is where we are. Now, there's so much on there, it's all blurred together, blah, 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 so it is hard to, parse everything out, but once you know the rules and once you know the language, then this is easier to read. But I would say, as a guy who comes into the store, picks it up, reads it, I'm going to go, what the hell's all this?
Okay.
Whereas, so, before, what it was, oh, hey, yeah, so the attack, that's how many dice you get per guy. Roll those, and you want, see how it says hit 3 up? You want 3, 4, 5, 6. Mm-hmm. Okay, now take all the ones that succeeded, do that with the wound, and then your buddy here, so you're going to tell him what the rend is, and he's going to take -1 to that save and roll those dice. And then, what abilities do they have? Just go ahead and read them.
Right. Yeah.
But now, we're going to go, what's an infantry? What's a champion? What's an order? What's a stormcast?
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. So we are going to old world it a little bit, especially since we're all going to go, what's the crit do again? Okay, let's go check. Right. Yeah.
Now, again, like I said, I think these are pretty easy, and I'm just saying, I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, it'll be easier for new people. And I'm like, you still got the same gate. The only difference is now some of the rules are in the book.
Yeah.
And it's not, you need to know the code. You need the decoder ring. Once you have the decoder ring, it's super easy.
Right. Yes. Yes.
All right. So, new War Scrolls. What do you give it?
I like them. They're good.
Just the one?
Just the one. Just the one.
I give it just the one as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. New look at the Hate Fury. First look at the Skaven. Okay, so are you ready to be blue-balled for new models for the next 3 months?
Oh, boy.
I think they said there's something in May that they're going to be doing there. And hopefully that's where they're going to show everything. But, like...
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this as well. But, yeah.
I think it was just us in the group chat.
Maybe.
Bullshit about it.
I think they're clan rats. I think they successfully brought clan rats into today.
Yeah, I think that they successfully went, what does a modern sculpt of this look like? And awesome. Good job.
Yeah.
Like, I have no complaints here. The sculptors did a great job.
Because I haven't yet, I'll give this one to
you. Yeah, sculptors get the 2 thumbs up. Like, good job, whoever it was that had these.
So here we go. Here's the big, I think the most controversial in our chat.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So basically, at the start of the turn, start of the round, sorry, not the turn, you get 4. And if you're an underdog,
get an extra.
You get 1. Right?
Yep.
And then each unit can only use 1 per phase. So if you have 4 units, you could use all 4 in 1 phase, and if you have that many possibilities.
Same as what it is currently, but yeah.
For that, yes. Each command can only be used, except for you. Now you are personally giving your guy the command as opposed to
yes,
which is fine. I don't think that's ever impacted.
No one else is giving it. Yeah.
The only time it's ever impacted anything is whenever Bastions died and my Storm Chariot was just about ready to make a charge that I wanted to make real big.
There you go. Yeah, it's happened every once in a while, but it's not a big deal.
So here's one thing I think is... So there was I felt there's a little contradiction in this article.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, one of the things they were talking about was more interactivity on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
And I got that. That's actually where my idea for having the alternating interaction or activation
was from this coming up. Yeah.
If you want that, just do what you do in one of your other games, Middle-earth, and just alternate interactions, like or activations.
Yep.
So currently, you get essentially 2 or 3 with a chance of getting 1 more, and then you get 1 more your next turn.
Right. Yeah.
So we're giving you more opportunity to interact, but less economy to actually do it.
I don't know if it's less economy. It's less restriction to do it. That's for certain.
No, I mean, it's less economy. So you're talking about, so let's say, so you have 3.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And then you get your command point.
Yeah.
So now you're up to 4. And then next turn you get another one. And then you roll to get another one. And you get another one there. So now you're at 6.
6 or 5?
Well, so again, so you go second. So
3.
You got 2. You start 2 just because you have, or you get 1, and then your general's on the board. Then you go second.
Right. Okay.
Then you rolled for heroic action.
Yep.
And we're saying that you're using them.
Right. Yes.
So then you go next. Your turn comes around. So
you're right. It is 6. Yeah, it is 6. Yeah, so, I never actually sat down and counted it out. Yeah.
So now you're getting 2 less.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you're bad at the game, and you decided that you want.
If you're an underdog, then yes.
And you were like, I'm going to put an army together somehow in 1 regiment.
There we go.
Then you're up to 6 again. So then it's like, well, then you didn't do anything. You just... It seems like a silly change. I like the way it is now. Like, to me, the 4 command points at the start of each battle round is worse
than the 2 and 3.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see.
Again, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't...
No.
If I were to have both, I would go, I like that one better, but they're fine. They're both fine.
Right.
So again, this is the first appearance of Underdog, which, boy, am I hating Underdog. Every time I see it, I hate it a little more.
Yeah, nope. There's a lot of memes out there on the internet. If you know, you know.
So now we got using the ability, declare the ability, tell your opponent which ability is being used. If the ability has
Yep.
declared instructions, resolve them in this step. Then use the
Yep.
reaction and then resolve the reaction. So essentially, what we're doing here is we're creating a little bit of the magic stack.
Yes.
All out attack, same thing as it was.
Mm-hmm.
All out defense, same thing as it was. At the double, same thing, right? There was
Yeah. Pre-run roll. Go ahead and just make it add 6 instead of anything else. Yep.
forward to victory, reroll the charge, same.
Yeah.
Rally is now different.
Yes, it is.
So you make 6 rally rolls for each 6. Every 4 up, you get 1 rally point, and the rally point either heals or brings a model back.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Definitely not bringing back huge swaths of guys like we did for a second there in the last edition before we fixed that and said 10 wounds only.
Yeah, and again, on a 3-up, I think that's interesting because now, again, you're going to have, on average, the average roller will have 4 points to deal with.
Well, it's on a 4-up?
Oh, 4-up, sorry, 3.
4-up's only 3. Yeah,
get my
on
numbers
average.
mixed around.
It's okay. It's okay.
For redeploy, you no longer need to... you don't need to trigger it off of anything. It's just...
Yeah, you just do it. Yep.
At some point in your enemy movement phase.
Yes.
Which is... I would have desperately preferred they just kept start of phase.
Yes, I think that those were very important to the game, and it'll be interesting to learn how you'll want to go about it, because whenever your opponent goes, all right, I want to end my movement phase, you go, wait, I'm going to redeploy real quick.
And I'll be the jerk at LVO going, nope, I ended it. You didn't say it.
So it's already over. It's already over.
All right, yeah. Move him and end a movement phase.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
I declared it. I'm sorry. You got to go.
Seeing its keyword that it got run is going to be interesting. I'm curious as to what the run keyword does, if that might affect shooting or anything like that.
No, I guarantee you. That basically means you can either redeploy or you can shoot.
Right. Yeah.
Or there's other things that are going to be you can't charge.
Yes.
Now, again, I really wish they would have done D3+3.
Yeah, it would definitely be better for redeploy.
There's nothing worse than just seeing that one, because then you're like, okay, well, now I've just boiled a quarter of my command points.
Yes.
Well,
and rolled a 1.
I'll probably be in the losing position now, and I'll probably get another one next turn.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Covering fire no longer requires anyone to be...
You to be within 6 inches. Yeah.
No one. It doesn't need anyone charging or anything. It's just, hey, there's a bitch. Let's shoot him.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting, that covering fire rule, because you have to pick an enemy unit that is not in combat.
Right.
Or, sorry, a friendly unit that's not in combat. Right. But you're only shooting the closest enemy.
Right.
Still not going to be upset to do that.
Right. Right. Because, again, chances are you probably want that person shot anyway. So
exactly. If they're that close, they need to die.
Countercharge, just...
even though it's not your turn, make a charge move. Why not?
Yeah. Everyone gets Mighty Destroyers.
it does cost 2 command points, which is interesting.
Yes.
But it is going to be a big change when somebody countercharges you whenever you thought that your charge was safe.
Now, I'll tell you, I think one thing that should be to magical intervention.
Okay.
That seems a little strong to be able to also just... I'm just going to cast a spell on your turn.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And, well, so at least this one is limited to enemy hero phase.
Right,
so,
yes.
So none of your shoots, this is basically going to be your buffs. Which I think is important and interesting and definitely does a lot for... Well, let's say Lumineth transitions pretty seamlessly. does a lot for them, because I know that I would go first just so I could put buffs on, then just receive the charge and basically throw away turn 1. Just to get those buffs on me. Now again, that was the first version of them.
Yes.
But now it's like, yeah, you do your turn, Eclipse.
Yeah, no, that would be that would be rough.
And then of course my new personal favorite, power through.
Yeah, why not just power through somebody?
Now, I'll tell you right now, there's no one on the internet that supports power through as much as the Big M Power Hour channel. All right, man.
There we go. There we go. We are gonna power through this hour and turn it into 3.
Just like you power throughing this.
Yes. And everyone just turned it off. Oh boy.
So at the end of any turn, I guess technically that means you could do it on your own turn.
Well, yeah.
Pick a friendly unit that charged this turn to use this ability. Then you must pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target. The target must have a lower health characteristic than the unit using this ability. Inflict D3 mortal damage to the target. Then the unit using this ability can move a distance up to its move characteristic. It can pass through and end that move within the combat ranges of enemy units that were in combat with it at the start of the move, but not those of other enemy units. It does not have to end the move in combat. There you go.
Yes, you can push yourself through
to just do
and be out of combat. Yeah.
Or you can push through to get out of there altogether.
Right.
So I love that. And again, like, this is not just necessarily giant.
Like,
literally, what was funny is before I scrolled down further, I thought of Storm Strike Chariot first.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of,
yes,
got the Storm Strike Chariot. War thing still has the War Machine keyword. I'm wondering to see if that'll do anything.
It'd be very interesting to see.
And so here, this was actually pretty interesting. We still are going to have weapon options.
Okay.
So you see.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So that's still going to be a thing.
Okay.
You're still not going to take the Great Storm Bow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad shot.
It isn't, but
I would say would have me. Here, I'll tell you this right now. You would have me if I could also trade my spear.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, the axe. If I could get rid of
axe.
If I could have both with the bow, you sold me.
I mean, so it gets slightly better maybe because it puts out damage from a distance.
Anti-infantry.
Plus 1 rend against the infantry.
2 damage to infantry.
No, 2 rend to infantry.
Right.
Criticals, if you roll a 6, it's 2 hits.
So, once or twice every other game.
Yep. I don't know. I hear you, though.
No, I just think, now imagine if that was anti-monster or anti-cavalry, anti-hero.
You're right. It could be interesting.
Anti-hero?
Something will get it eventually. I 100% guarantee you we will see some sort of orc boss who wants to hunt heroes and will have an axe called anti-hero.
But yeah, I love that the Storm Axe has plus 1 damage on the charge. I think that's cool.
Great idea.
Would I have liked to have seen that on the spear as well? Yeah, or either the axe or the Griff Chargers. I think the Griff Chargers should have it.
They could have gotten something for on the charge, yeah.
I mean, it is 6 attacks, but it is 4s and 3s.
Yes. So you're not getting much through. Probably 2 hits.
But yeah, so whenever you do your what is it, Celestial Blaze, whenever you do the power through command, inflict additional D3 mortal wounds. An additional D3 mortal wounds on the target and add D6 to the distance. So you're doing 2D3 and you're also doing 10.
So you are pushing right through.
Right. Oh, I think the Stormstrike Chariot lost 2 health.
Very well may have.
Shame that. Yeah, it was a shame because it was. Interesting.
Yeah.
And
so you're gonna move.
Oh, you know one thing I've noticed about these, which I'll have to check to see for the other one. Do you know what keyword's missing?
What keyword is missing, sir?
Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike is definitely not on here. It has Warrior Chamber.
Yeah, now they're just assuming. They're just letting you know. We're just going to assume you're in Thunderstrike armor.
Yeah.
So they're at least changing the murder roll if they haven't gotten rid of it altogether.
Right, yeah. That's very much a possibility.
So, command abilities. Where are you for command abilities?
I think they're good in the way that they're interesting. I'm concerned about a few. Having a full... So I feel like right now there are a few armies that having covering fire would be a bit broken to just give to. Like a 20 blocker Reavers already messes up a lot of people out there. And for me to just shoot again in my opponent's turn would feel broken. So I'm concerned about that. Countercharge I'm a little concerned about. However, I like it as just a fun counterplay that they put into it. It makes you think a little bit more of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned because, again, the closest model thing...
Right.
You are... If you want to do anything before, I think you could play in a way that you didn't necessarily need an old school, rough and tumble, true to life chaff unit.
Right. Yeah.
But now I think you absolutely will. Like if you
you will always take the unit that charges in closer to the shooting unit than the unit you wanted to do something.
That unit of Hobgrots, you're going to need the unit of wolves or whatever, just to get closer to that Reaver unit.
Yeah.
Now again, see, here we go. So the Reaver unit can't redeploy because then they'd be running and shooting. Well, unless you guys have a running and shooting, but you're kind of
unless somebody has that. Yeah. Yeah.
So elves will still be a problem. But yeah, still two.
Elves will still be
because we are essentially giving both sides nukes.
Yeah, it's great.
You're shaking it up. I'm sure there's going to be some troubling outliers that they're not thinking about.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But overall, I appreciate it. How battle traits and battle formations shape your army in #new AoS. So battle traits are essentially so they're kind of so they're getting rid of heroic actions.
Right. Yep.
And they're kind of rolling these a little bit into it. So like their finest hour is going to be Stormcast things, where Stormcast unit that has not used this ability
and do the old finest hour.
1/2 wound rolls and plus another save. Now this might get changed at some point, but this just says pick a friendly Stormcast unit that has not used this ability.
Makes you sit there and go,
it's a hero phase. So we'll see.
Yeah.
There might be some additional...
It'll be interesting to see whether or not, I'm sure there will be something that says can only use these on heroes.
Yep. I'm so glad to see Stormcasters getting the Scions rolled in. It just felt weird that you had to choose, are you coming from the heavens or are you good at holding things?
Right, yeah.
I thought the point was you were just supposed to shoot in and then hold things.
Yes. Everyone's plan was zap in and defend against chaos.
Right. Right.
Done.
So I'm
Yeah.
glad to see it move in, and then again, seeing this. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna. Battle traits really didn't change. They're still the same
No.
thing. You're just probably getting
Mhm.
more. Like it's more like battle traits are now almost. Well, I guess they are called battle traits, and I just call them allegiance abilities incorrectly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they are.
I will say I think I've seen once per battle a lot in these past couple articles. That has me a little.
Yes. There's a lot of once per battle. And you are going to kind of want cards so that once you use your once per battle, yeah, you just throw that thing across the event hall and go, I don't use that anymore.
I'll see you round 2.
Yeah,
Game 2. Yeah.
exactly.
So once per battle, you move in phase, declare, pick a friendly, non-unique Stormcast Eternal infantry or cavalry unit that started the battle with 2 or more models and has not been and that has been destroyed to be the target. Yeah, and then you put them back. So that used to
Yeah.
be one of the holy or the holy orders, heavenly invocation, whatever.
I think it was a
big
heavily,
abilities, and
yeah.
everyone took the double shoot.
Exactly. Yep.
So I'm glad to see that. You just get it.
Yeah, just get them back.
Okay.
Gosh, you 1 CP.
So now instead of having sub factions, we now have
Right.
battle formations.
Yes.
So just off the cuff, I'm not a fan of the rebranding.
I
It's fine.
I agree with you in that I think we all, as a community, each had our own pet faction that even if it wasn't the best one, we were like, that if I'm playing a narrative game with the guys, this is where I'm from.
Right.
And
I mean, I've always done that. You know, like I've always been
Right.
like, hey, I'm gonna, I always liked Hermdar before Hermdar was cool. So it was like,
right.
all right,
Yeah.
even whenever it was bad, hey, I'm still from Grimfeared now, but I'm still from Hermdar. You know, it's
You're right.
now I don't think. I would love to see them keep it on the like in the new builder have like oh here's all the different sub factions and like keep obviously they're going to keep them in the lore like obviously
Right. Yes.
but like have like
But
who are you like blah 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 like
right. And it almost felt like a way to keep all of us reminded of the lore to just be hit with so which group is this army actually with? You got to be reminded, oh yeah, this is actually they fight like this because they're this group. So it was always fun. But I can obviously see how it'll be nice that okay, even though my stuff is painted like this, I can just say that I am set up in this formation now so that we're getting synchronized strikes or the oncoming storm.
and again like I said I mean so to kind of peel it back a little bit there where I feel like before they were trying to figure out what's the narrative it started off what's the narrative for this
Right.
chamber or shield host or whatever the hell it is and then eventually it already kind of naturally evolved into like these are the guys that run the dragons and these are the guys that work with storm cities of Sigmar people and it's like we're already there now
Yeah.
and I'm glad that we're just calling a spade
Yeah. Yeah.
like that I'm fine
I mean, maybe at the end of the day, because we don't have to come up with weird edge case groups inside these books, we can just get all good, useful ones and they all be a choice, right?
Right. I mean,
so that's the other side of this card of it sucks to lose the lore.
Right.
Maybe I'll have an argument to use all of them in the book.
Because that was one of the things, like, if you remember the Stormcast book, they had like 12.
Yeah.
And 1 was good. 2 was good. Like,
yep.
So all right. So again, for this, I guess I'm personally just like 1 thumbs up. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if they, like I said at the very end, there get it right and just make say 4 of these per army that are good. Sweet.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, moving along to April 15th. I hope you like edging because here's 1 more model.
Hey, it is a good looking model though.
It's a cool
to be
model.
fair.
It's a cool model.
Okay. Nope, looks great. I like it.
I feel like I'm in the minority here.
Okay.
Keep your children at home. All right. There's no Like your little swole little guy here. Like, tell him, like, hey, bud, it's cool that you can lift that little anvil sensor thing.
No. These guys are servants who have been servants for generations to these guys, because we have to show the dark side of all of this.
But, like, it's so weird. Like, it just raises so many questions, and it's so weird. So, like, okay, so this guy here, I just have the one, again, I have the guy with the 2 axes and the little guy holding the sensor thing. So this guy, like, he was, Hans Goofman, back in,
1,200 years ago. Yep.
And so now he's been reforged 1,000 times, and so Sigmar decided to do a DNA test, and they're like, "Hey, here's your defense. Here's your great grandson.
Yep.
Franz. Franz.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah. And you're like, well, he doesn't have the accent anymore. That's old world thing.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo,
it's been a long time.
Sup?
Yep.
He's like, hold this anvil sensor and put on this helmet. And he's like, why? Oh, sorry, he doesn't have the accent. Why? Why am I doing that? And he's like, because your great granddaddy is a Stormcast Eternal. It's like, oh, how do you know? I didn't consent to a test.
Yeah.
And you guys don't, like, wasn't there like an information issue at some point, and like you didn't know what was
that was a long time ago. We fixed that. Don't worry about it.
And like,
also,
Sigmar's not exactly like record keeper, lore master, smart guy.
Don't tell Franz. They pointed at a dude and said, that guy's gonna be in trouble today.
It's like, that's your kid. What?
Yeah.
So, like, okay, so all right.
Now, let's be honest. The big problem is the logistical issue here. When his great grandfather lightning bolts in to battle, does Sigmar hand Franz a map and say, he's here?
Is he already
get
there?
On your horse and get there?
Does he get like a buddy pass and he's allowed to ride lightning too? Like,
yes.
Is he a Sigmar in train? Like, is he a Stormcast in training? Like, is he? I don't know. I don't understand. How does it work?
Right. I'm very curious.
If he dies, does he go back?
No, he just dies. That's the end of the bloodline because Franz didn't have a kid yet.
You gave me the battle trait in the last episode, in the last article, where I could bring back half a unit rounded up. What if I choose to bring just back the little guys?
What if I choose not to bring the Stormcast back and bring in Franz back? I felt bad for him.
Right, like, there's problem. I can just bring back 2 of them, and then the one guy that doesn't have one. Like, it's, he's like, I always wanted kids. Now, also on top of that, does that mean that you needed to have kids in order to get into the Ruination Chamber? Or at least into this unit to become a Reclusian? So you had to get some boning in before you reclused?
Yes. Apparently.
It's a very weird unit.
Look, they're not your great grandkids. It's your brothers. It's okay.
Yeah,
you're actually just the great uncle.
Lightning, huh?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I can't, like, I'm not alone in this, am I? It's weird, right?
No, it's a little odd. I could see it spun a different way, in that whenever an army stays
you don't think they're going to spin it the way I just spun it?
No. I mean, different way from how, they already spun it in this article where it's like, did a Stormcast army stay in one spot for a long time? Oh, good. Everyone started worshiping them, and that's why these people are like this.
Which is such a retcon to what we already have.
Right. Yeah.
Like, right now, literally, the Cities book that came out, they're like, well, they can't be trusted. We got to do this shit on our own.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we're not coalescing with them anymore. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's
like,
not
the base. So I'll say, okay, so let's get rid of the small children.
Yes.
The swole child.
Yep.
And I know this is Sigmar. I know this is Stormcast. It's already in there. I'm not a fan of the wobbly lines that come out of their
Oh,
The wobbly
yeah.
line I just don't like.
Okay.
But I'm willing to overlook because I like the chain. I like
I was gonna say the wobbly line's just the twin killed comet. It's great.
I like the one pauldron cloak.
Yep.
These
Looks
guys have
great.
axes. I don't know why. If this is what you're going for, shouldn't you maybe give your liberators
Should the
axes?
liberators have had the axes?
You
Yeah.
get them a little axe training 100,000 years earlier or whatever it is. 100 years,
Yeah.
1,000 years earlier, so now they're a little bit better whenever it comes to the Reclusian art period. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to grade it. What do you rate it? You rated what? 3 thumbs up?
I mean, yeah, I think it looks great, even if lore wise we're like, what? I'm here for it. Especially the guy holding the flaming banner.
That's one I actually
Uh,
have.
yeah, I'm sitting here going, this is so close to just like we're a slight slip and we're in chaos. This is how close Sigmar is to having a bunch of chaos dudes around him.
To me, I look at it as like we're basically in Dark Angels with the dark ones.
There we go. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I don't know. Like, so for me, I like the design. I think Axe is
Okay.
a weird choice. I don't mind
I think
axes. I like
just
axes. They're just fine.
I think it models better, right, than the hammers that they've been doing.
I mean, the hammers that they were
Because otherwise, you do like we said earlier, a huge hammer, or you do something that's similar to historically accurate, which is just a little ball peen with a spike on the other end.
Well, imagine if they had like a flanged mace or something.
It could be
like
interesting as well.
The captain
Yeah.
can have like his has like a big staff and it has a big twin-tailed comet at the top.
There we go.
So I don't know. I'm gonna wait till I actually get them in hand and see what the rules are. Right now, I'm just gonna say neutral. I'm gonna say neutral.
Okay.
All right, then we got. Let's see. What is the actual thing for this? Okay. Oh, fires of combat range higher than ever and hashtag new AoS.
Right.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Charge. Recharge.
Yep.
Or charge phase. Fine. So. I'm going to scroll down here to the combat ability sequence. This is probably going to be the hardest thing in the entire game for me to remember.
Okay.
Is that like, because again, up until now, it's always been like, okay, what combat do you want? I want that one. Okay, what ability are you going to put in? No. Now it's, okay, are we done charging? Did they get rid of the monstrous?
They haven't brought it up anywhere that I've seen, so
let's just assume monstrous phase is out for now.
Yeah.
It might be in here. Sorry, guys, it might be in here. I don't know.
Right. I haven't noticed anywhere yet.
Actually, you know what? If I want to get a response in the comments, it's not in here, confirmed out. So
yeah, there we go. We'll get.
So it's just gonna be charges done. Okay, here's all of the abilities I'm going to be using this entire phase.
Right.
And then you're going to tell me all of your abilities. So now I have to remember all of my abilities, and I have to remember all of your abilities, which means I also have to remember the abilities I didn't use.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you are going to need tokens this edition.
You will. Yeah, definitely. I kind of like that you're forced to reveal everything now, so there's less I got you moments.
I mean, worst case scenario, you get I got it once.
Right. Yeah, no, it wasn't an often thing, but...
I mean, I don't know if did you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
A little bit as a kid, yeah.
I mean, the best part of every episode was you just triggered my trap card.
You've activated my trap card. Haha. Well, yeah, no, and we all enjoy doing that and feeling really smart for catching people on that, but
now
I hear you.
Aha, you just triggered my pre-planned and open
all-out attack. Yeah.
You don't have to do all-out attack here, do you?
Oh, you definitely have to do all-out attack here. This is an ability. It's a command ability.
No, it's a command ability. It's not a combat phase ability, right?
I think that's this.
Oh, here. It says right.
Yeah, right above it, right?
In all-out defense, the combat phase remains a tense strategic affair. Units cannot make shooting attacks if they... Oh, boy, this is one thing that's... shooting and combat ability. That is going to be...
Yep, that's going to be worth its weight in gold, those 3 words.
I mean, so here's the thing.
Yep.
If this gets them to the point where you can have a unit that shoots and also is somewhat competent in combat, fine. Like, if this is the rule that gets KO or gets Arcanauts to do a little bit of slice and dice, if we can get twos with like 4s, 3s, no rend 1 damage, or and then like contesting rend 1 or something, okay, all right, assuming that everything's 4s and 3s, no rend.
Right. Yes.
But boy, this could be so hard. It's gonna be so hard.
Yeah.
Because again, boy, like, and it's... I wasn't even thinking about all-out attack, man. That's...
Oh, I think it's you've got to use your all-out attack, all-out defense, any other attack-based
no
command point.
Now. It's like the strategy is just like gone.
Well, yeah, I present to you what I'm going to do.
Right. I mean, it's like, yes, here we are sitting down a chest. Just so you know, this guy is going to move forward too, and then you're probably going to move that, and I'm going to move him.
Yep.
All right, and then let's go to their movement phase. Oh my gosh almighty. I mean, that's literally like first turn, flop, that's what I'm working with. It's...
Yep. We make sure everyone knows what we're working with now. Nobody's hiding anything.
I mean, like, even at my level, I pick the fights in certain ways to try and get that
right. I'm trying to bait something. Yes. And I've done that in the past.
I'll do all-out attack there, so I guess you're going to do all-out defense there, which means it's going to be completely worthless the entire...
Right, yep.
So we might as well just get rid of all-out attack and all-out defense.
I mean, you could, but it'll be interesting. It will be interesting.
I think that's dumb. I think the combat abilities should not be involved in this and should be elsewhere. Pile-in moves. So, my one criticism up until now has been everything is just getting, like, the skill ceiling's coming down.
Yeah.
And this definitely is in that category.
Okay.
However, I'm so sick and tired of fighting with people.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's like, okay, you can't move that guy closer, but what's one more attack? He knows it. And if he doesn't know it, I'm going to tell him he's going to fight me on it. Fine. Just let him move the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, how many times has that happened in a game to you? Like,
oh, yeah. No, plenty of times, especially like round 1, you're fighting somebody and it's like their first tournament or something.
Right.
And they do a pile and move weird. And you're just like, you know what? I don't care enough.
Right. I mean, that's the
just
thing. It's like,
do whatever.
I've called it out so many times to the point where I've never changed anyone's opinion.
No, and you always just feel like an asshole for calling it out by the end.
Right.
So
I just like whatever. You want to pile in 6th on a Liberator? Fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I've had it happen where I'm watching someone pile in and I'm just smiling to myself because like it's just not worth it.
Right.
Whatever they do, it's fine.
And so I think this is just easier. Just that's the unit. Okay.
Yep.
Because also on top of that, like, I mean, it didn't make sense for, to me, it didn't make full sense either way for the pinning.
Yeah.
Like, at no point in time is there going to be literally dudes just hanging out in the middle of a block going,
right, just going, yeah, I don't, yeah. No, it's the commander says, follow me, and everyone's like, well, we'll hold them off some as we back up.
Right. So here, this is where we got the Vindictors. Hold the shield wall.
Yeah.
Strike first on a 4-up, 50-50 chance that they attack first.
Yep. It might come in handy time to time. We'll see.
I mean, like I said, for me,
you're taking them for the anti-charge rend 1, honestly.
Right. That's exactly right. I mean, if you can get a 2 up on a unit like this, cause assuming that it's going to be like, I don't know, 150 or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Where do you? I can't figure out if I like Vindictors or Liberators better.
So
I know models.
Yeah, personally, if you're like Cole, pick one. You have to right now. I am going to choose Liberators if same points cost right now.
Right.
Simply because I'm going to get in on unit 5. I'm rolling 10 dice. I'm going to hopefully get at least one, maybe more crit.
Right.
So I'll get a couple mortals in there. Feel good.
Yeah.
This is okay. I want someone to charge me because if I charge, I lose this ability 100%.
Yeah, if I charge,
and even then it's 50-50.
And I don't get my 50-50 ability.
Exactly. So yes, it stinks that my control points don't go up whenever I am charging with my Liberators. I'm definitely going to have at least one unit Liberator sitting in the backfield to hold an objective each game, though.
Now, moving down to the Proxigors.
Yeah. Interesting.
I love this War Scroll.
I think it's some very fun flavor that they put into this one.
I'm so glad they got rid of all the little skink stuff. I understand the lore about it. I get all of that.
Right.
It was just a burden, though.
Mm-hmm.
This, however, here, okay, 2 of you guys get these mauls. 1 guy gets a hammer, or a better hammer that hits a little easier and does 1 more damage.
Right.
But
yeah,
now you know what these guys are going after.
hey, do you need me to tell you that these are going after all the infantry possible? Like if there's a giant blob of zombies, you send these at it. Right. They want you to.
Right. Oh my goodness gracious. Add 1 to the damage characteristic of this unit's melee weapons for attacks that target an enemy that has 10 or more models. My goodness. So
unit 3 is going to be...
We'll get the Moonstone Hammer out. So you're looking at 3 models, 4 attacks, 4s, 2s, Ren 2, damage 3. Good.
Yeah.
Talk about...
Yeah, for one. Yeah.
Your all-out attack is going here every turn.
Yeah. I mean, it stinks we can only take one of the hammers, but you darn well know we're taking that hammer every time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. It's nice 12 attacks. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the poopo news of 1/2-inch coherency.
Yeah.
Lunacy.
Yeah.
Lunacy. They've shown previous rules where we still have the wholly within for all ability, not all abilities, but like every ability we've seen, wholly within 12 inches, wholly within whatever. And it's like,
right.
You either need wholly within or you need a tight coherency.
Right. Yeah, we are on top of each other to begin with because of coherency now.
I mean,
so I don't need the wholly within.
Infantry has 1 inch of 2 or 1 inch, or we move over to infantry. We move over to abilities are now within, and shrink it down 2 inches. I don't give a crap.
Sure.
But not both. But I would have rather seen infantry's 1, cavalry's 2, monsters 2,
right?
Something like that.
Certain big units are 3 because it's just easier on life.
Right. Like the like here they point out specifically the Storm Drake Guard.
Yeah,
because you're not getting you can't get those within 2 inches.
You can't push them together and not start breaking models. Yeah.
And then of course the poop in your picture.
Good old retreat. Yeah.
3 mortal wounds to retreating. So here you are. Not you, third person you, a made up you.
Yep.
You're just really trying to figure out how to break through to the next level of the tier of competitiveness. You know that the higher up guys use retreat all the time. But every time you use it, you take 3 mortal wounds and you end up getting followed up anyways and getting wiped out. What do people do? How do you use retreat whenever you're taking damage every time?
Like,
this is
it's a lot tougher because Yeah, I used retreat so often, especially if I'm just like, okay, I just need this unit to hold out to like the man
Right.
to pin this unit for me if need be. And then if I get the turn, I retreat away, use a singular man to hold an objective, and we're golden. But now it's, oh, there's only one guy left in that unit. Well, he's just dead.
Right. Right.
I'm
No, it's
sorry.
just
Yeah.
it's very frustrating in that regard because not only does it increase it, I think it. Let me put it this way. Let me think. Okay, so in the early days of AoS, they would make armies that I feel like some of the early Zinch stuff that I can't remember specifics, but like they would put things that are a little too intricate, thinking that players would just figure it out eventually, and like the people that figured out that intricacies would then be very good. And instead of going that route, everyone's like, well, or I could go with the hammer.
Yeah.
I could be in game trying to build a laser gun, or I go with the hammer. Like,
Yeah.
and so I feel like this is building the laser gun because now you have to figure out like, okay, well, is the D3 worth it? Okay, if I stay in combat one more round, how much damage is it going to do to me? How much damage am I going
Right.
to do to them? What about this? Blah 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 blah. And now you're going to have, so like say like this is the skill expression of the AOS community.
Mm-hmm.
I would say preview like as of right now, you have like this amount out of this. This is what uses retreat effectively.
Yeah.
I think now you're going to get whoomp,
Yeah.
which means all of this, no one's just going to retreat, and it's going to be harder to break into that upper echelon.
Right. Yeah. It will be. It will be. It'll be very interesting.
So, this one I'm at least one thumbs down for the whole article because
Okay.
of retreat. So retreat, cohesion.
Yeah.
And then the like giving out all abilities at once.
Right.
Oh no, I've convinced myself 2 thumbs down.
You've convinced yourself 2 thumbs down. See, I'm either at a meh or 1. I mean, that 1's just because of coherency and retreat. I'm okay with saying all my abilities at once, and I feel like that's because I'm becoming an apologetic Idneth Deepkin player who constantly is like, "Have you ever played against Idneth Deepkin before?" No. Okay. Have you heard of the tides? Do you know what they do? No. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So as we go through, I'm going to explain to you how I'm going to progressively tell you rules, and you're going to tell me I'm cheating you. And now I'm just doing this more.
You're already doing it, but the problem is now you have to do it to your entire army, and you have to remember everything that you activated, and you have to remember everything your opponent activated, all at the same time. It's way too much.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot. It is going to be one of those things that you're going to have to make tokens of some sort.
You have to. There's going to be no way. All right, moving along here to the 18th. Complete history of the Megascape. This is not hashtag new AOS. Okay, so Skaven's been around for a while and they've had a bunch of models. Moving on.
Right.
Okay, magic. Casting supreme sorceries and powerful prayers in hashtag new AOS.
Yeah.
Okay. So casting and unbinding. So they finally tell us what the number behind the wizard means.
Right.
That is per phase.
Per phase. How many spells?
How many jumbles they can do, whether it's spells, unbinds, banishes.
Right.
9 banishes. I don't think you need 9 banishes.
I was just going to say, look, he's going to cast 9 banishes. You will not get a spell off around the gash. It'll be fine, okay?
So the banish is the getting rid of the endless spells. So that's going to be like...
Yeah, he
put down,
look,
no. All right, I want to put another... No.
Nope. Just getting told no. It's fine.
I don't know how I feel about that per phase.
It'll be very interesting. I feel as though there will be so many things that are the way I assume it'll be set up is there will probably only be, say, 2 spells per phase max that you could do. It's one of those things I'm going to have to see it in action.
Agreed.
You know?
Now,
if a spell only has 3 spells max, okay. If it still has 6 and I'm getting 1 for every phase of the game, boy, even a level 1 wizard got real strong.
Everyone knows their entire lore. Now, again, they might have multiple lores and they have to choose which one they want.
Right.
But
yes. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if I've got 1 in my hero phase for an enchantment, 1 in movement phase because I can teleport,
right.
1 in shooting phase for me because it's a ranged attack,
right.
1 in combat because it's some sort of melee-based spell.
Giving your team strike first
or a buff. Yeah.
So this is the way 40K plays, and of course, new old world plays as well.
Mm.
And I don't know. I haven't heard anyone else say this, so I assume I'm again alone in this camp by myself. Which I'm really getting tired of buying these plots of land that are just for me and building up whole camps and we've got s'mores and it's just me hanging out around a fire. But of course, I don't know how to build a fire, so. I'm just eating mushrooms.
Just standing around with a stick and some marshmallows and going, I don't know why I'm here.
Sad fat kid sitting out in the dark.
It's fine. It's fine.
But to me, it feels like the one thing about having all the spells cast in the hero phase is it feels like Magic. Kind of like splitting it up all along everything. It kind of loses that Magic feel, and it's more like, okay, you're just an ability that you roll dice for, which. Yes, that is what Magic is.
Yes, the game. Yes.
I mean, it is what Magic is, but it's like there's so many other things where it's like, oh, you're going to do this, roll a die for it.
Right.
To see if it works. It's just another version of that now that it's leaked out of the hero phase.
Yeah.
Now, again, there are certain armies like Seraphon and Tzeentch that spend a lot of time in the hero phase, and people that have to play these armies regularly are going to be happy to not spend as much time in the hero phase.
This is true.
But I said, I don't know. I kind of like just kind of the opposite of the fight phase.
Of what they're doing.
Just getting all the spells out and going, this is what's going to happen, and this is how it is, and we're going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What is your gut? Because you probably don't mind.
So I don't mind it so much. I'm more concerned. Like I was saying earlier, I need to see spell lores and spell lists before I make a full determination. Because right now, just from what it says and listening to it, an entire lore. Okay, so I'll probably have 6 spells in front of me, and you get 1 per phase. Just for a level 1 is. That can be a lot of power going on through a game. Right.
That's the other thing that I'm concerned about. Is like, again, man, we're just going to have to you're going to have to pick one army, and you're going to have to get a bunch of tattoos, reminders all over yourself of
yeah. It's going to be interesting because I feel like wizards are going to be very powerful because of this.
Right.
Especially if you have the correct spell lores access to them.
Right. Because they didn't learn anything from Old World.
Right.
Thankfully, they did learn at least enough to go, hey, your spell, like your wizard level, doesn't incorporate into your casting at all.
Yes, that could have been very powerful.
Yes.
Especially for a Nagash we're just sitting there like, so unless you're also on a god level, you can't do anything about it. But thankfully, they thought about it.
And I'm so glad to see Unlimited show up. Because there are some spells that okay, it feels like they should cast it. Like, again, jumping games, but in 40K, like my old army, the Grey Knights, as soon as I couldn't have Hammerhand, because before it was you had to choose between Hammerhand or Aegis.
Right.
Aegis, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And that was every unit was like, which one do you want on which unit and when?
Right.
Now,
yeah.
You could just they're both unlimited, so you cast whichever one you want.
Yeah.
Unbind, 30 inches. That's fine.
Cool.
Chanting prayers, I'm super torn on prayers.
Okay.
And let me explain why. I think it's a really cool system.
Okay, go ahead.
I really do. I think so. Basically, now you roll a D6,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get a 2 or more, you add whatever you rolled to a prayer pile. And then whenever you have enough points in the prayer pile, you can. It's almost.
Right.
It's basically. It's actually very similar to Blood Tithe.
Yes, in a way it is.
Instead of killing people, you just roll.
Right.
Now, I absolutely love your idea where every priest on your all friendly priests add to the same prayer pile.
Yeah, I think
That would be
that's the one
amazing.
thing that looking at this, I'm concerned because each individual priest has his own prayer
Oh,
pile.
you're right. Now you have to remember that.
So now
as
you
well.
have to keep track of that. From what I'm reading here, that's what it
Yes.
reads like to
Yes.
me.
It is absolutely correct.
And that means that priests may get something off on the first turn or might have to wait 3 turns for something
That's the other
on a
thing,
bad.
like, I mean, again.
Meanwhile, the wizard we just talked about, he just cast 12 spells
Right.
in
Oh,
3 turns.
Hey.
I'm a level 1 wizard. I've just attempted to cast 12 spells.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fine.
if we look at this, look at the prayers on here.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Which one you want to look at?
I guess he doesn't have any prayers on his actual chart thing. Those aren't the prayers. Here's the prayers. So here we have Witchbane Curse. Pick a friendly blade of corn priest to chant this prayer. Pick a visible enemy wizard within 18 inches and make a chanting roll of D6.
You need a 4 to get this off immediately. Yep.
Right. So subtract 1 from the target's power level to a minimum of 0 until the end of the next turn. In addition, if the chanting roll was 8 or more, inflict 3 mortal damage to the target.
Right.
So
and don't get me wrong. It's strong, but you're doing it once. And against somebody with enough of a caster, they kind of look at it and they go, well, did you do the mortals? No. I don't care if you drop me down by 1. Like Nagash goes, so I go from 9 to 8? Okay.
Right. Again, all it's going to be is obviously now you're not going to want a 1-cast wizard. You're going to want at least a 2-cast wizard just so you can cast 1 to unbind.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I think I don't think it actually goes in and talks about it. No, it says prayer and banish abilities.
Yeah.
All priests should have chant with a reroll or something. Or not chant.
Yeah.
Unbind with a reroll.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Now if you have a priest 1 or priest 2, then
you're
like, rolling 2d6, re-roll this 1, something.
Right.
So
yeah.
Then, because right now there's going to be no counter to wizard other than other powerful wizards. Of course, there's not very many prayers, anyways.
Right.
So okay. So based on how it is now,
mm-hmm.
What do you give it?
It's down for me. I think we messed this up. Either spell casting is going to be so powerful that you need wizards in your army, even more so than we need them now, which you want them right now. Or spell casting is so weak that you casting a bunch of times means nothing.
Well, again, this is one of the things that I'm worried about a lot. I have 1 army that uses casting, and that's Soul Blight, and I definitely do not want to be using those in any serious capacity.
Right.
Everything else has no casting. So does that mean all of my armies are just going to go straight to the bottom of the tank because I'm just going to get bullied?
Right. Yeah, just magic phase bullied the entire time. You can't do anything about it.
And again, who knows? We'll see. Dwarfs should be resistant to magic.
You would hope.
So hopefully with how strong that is, we'll be getting some dispelling back in, but probably not.
Probably not. I wouldn't get too hopeful. Yeah.
So I'm down, borderline double down.
Whenever I look at the priests and realize just how big of a gulf there seems to be in abilities between a wizard and a priest right now, it's I get that you can't unbind and defend from the priest.
Right.
But he's
Right.
going to do one thing every other turn.
They should absolutely all priests should have some sort of. And again, it's fine if it's the same thing across the board. But
Right.
Unbind +2, unbind +1, unbind with a reroll. Something.
Yeah. Something to help them.
And then that way, now, especially if they're only like one priest one.
Yes.
Every phase, you're like, there's one spell I know you're not going to cast. I'm fine with that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be interesting.
All right, we're going to continue to edge. Up. You think you're going to shoot? Nope, not yet. But soon, because we got an engineer here, so shooting has to come up soon. I don't care.
There we go.
At all. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks good. Looks like a modern day engineer.
It is that it buffs Jezzails, and I don't like Jezzails, so.
Well, then, too bad. We're gonna keep having Jezzails.
Now we did get the confirmation of the guarded hero, where if this hero is within combat range of a unit that's not a hero, subtract 1 to hit. Blah 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 blah. If it's outside of 12, you can't shoot him. I think it's fine. I'm torn on all this because it's like we really want. I mean, they have absolutely shut the door on foot heroes. Hard to stop. It's almost like I feel like this should almost be 6 inches.
Yeah, I can almost see it, but with
the AO player, like,
yeah, I hear you. I think the problem is that because we've already built in the rule that if you're in melee, you can't shoot.
Right.
We don't need to do 6 inches because we're already in melee range, essentially.
You do 9.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's fine. I don't think this is a make or break it thing.
No.
So I'll give a thumbs up for guarded heroes and a meh for the engineer.
Yeah. Yep. Thumbs up for guarded heroes, and I mean, good for the sculptor. Good job.
Yeah, good job. He looks like a real product, and people that like Skaven are over the moon.
Happy.
Over the moon.
Yep.
Over the Bad Moon. No, which one's the
Bad Moon's goblins? I don't know what.
Green Moon. No, that's still goblins.
Yeah.
Here's how battle plans work. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, we have our compass rose to let us know what direction is north.
Yes.
Don't know why. I don't know why. Like. Sure.
Yep.
So now every battle plan is gonna have a twist. Because we brought M. Night Shyamalan in here. We were like, hey, we like the movie so much.
Right. What a twist. Yeah.
Which is, I guess it's not, the thing is like, okay, they can call it whatever the hell they want it. That we've already had the twist in basically every battle plan for the last 2 years at least. But now we have underdog stuff. This is where the underdog stuff comes in. This is where we start taking a dive.
This is where we define it and we start saying, look, if you're bad and you're losing, we're going to help you.
Right. We're gonna really pile it on. Like so this one here. So the sample battle plan 2 stake a claim, where that objective is no longer controlled by either player and cannot be controlled this battle round. It's fine.
Yes.
Who cares? There's 5.
There are, and it's a bit frustrating, but it's not the worst thing.
Right. I mean, I could see that being in a tournament.
Yeah.
And then for the General's Handbook, they basically say we're basically going to keep doing more of the same thing. However, they're going to go a little more in depth. Like they're going to get a little more gimmicky. So like now, the first General's Handbook that's coming out the same day the rules come out.
Yep.
No grand strategies.
Yep. going to be very interesting.
So hopefully what that means is the next General's Handbook will get grand strategies and we'll get rid of battle tactics. That's
Stop. You look. I'm going to go out here and say this right now. The Strength Hammer channel has a bunch of old boomers who don't know how to play this game, and they don't like battle tactics.
I'd like to point
out, but you and me, you person watching this, we like battle tactics.
I've won
Stay here for me.
Sigmar in the last 6 months than you have.
You probably have.
See,
yeah,
that's right.
I haven't played much Age of Sigmar, so that'll do it.
You're a young boomer then.
Yep, just a young boomer.
So honestly, outside of the twist and the underdog mechanic, which is just a butthole that's been in the deep fryer for too long, man.
Boy, this twist is interesting for the Border War one. Yeah.
Add 1 to hit rolls for units in the underdog's army if they charge this turn and are contesting an objective wholly within enemy territory, which is hilarious because
so it's only against one objective. Right.
Did they even look at the map? Did the guy that came up with the map be the same guy that came up with the twist?
So maybe we're being too hard on the underdog thing. Maybe if it's going to be so difficult
we're going to get to it next.
To get. It's so difficult to get to.
Do you remember the next one?
No, I don't. I'm so scared to look now.
Yeah. So now everything is like. So this one's the different. This is the different one here. So it's score 1 victory point if you control the objective wholly within friendly territory, 2 if you control the borders, and 5 if you control the enemy, and then 4 if you do a battle tactic. So now we have to do a little bit of a step back here because last month we talked about the double turn.
Yep.
Or priority, if you prefer.
The priority roll, as it should be called. Yes.
So Border War is not a good example, but essentially what they want is they want you to get 10 points, 4 of which of those points is your battle tactic. So now we know for certain that if you decide to change up the priority and take one turn right after the other, due to the priority roll, you are not able to receive 40% of the points for that round.
Right. Yeah.
So I just
that's it. Full stop. That's the whole conversation. We just made sure that you realize if you do a good thing and take the double, which if you were a good enough player, you could make it unfavorable to take the double. There's no... Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, not to rehash the whole conversation, but basically the only instance of the double that will exist at this point is the double that the people on the internet bitch and moan about nonstop, which is the whole reason that you're changing the double.
Right. I will take the double now from turn 2 into turn 3 whenever I know I have my opponent set up that I'm going to smash as much of his army off the table as possible because I'm going to lose points this turn.
Right. All right, so moving along here to the other butthole underdog here on the Vice.
Yeah.
At the end of their turn, the underdog can pick one objective, inflict D3 mortal damage to each unit contesting that objective. Roll separately for each unit.
Yeah. I mean, at least contesting range is smaller now, right? It's only 3 inches and not 6.
So now the underdog is going to be easier to not be in there. So.
Right. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Okay, so then we are still going to have season rules in the GHB. So for this one, we're going to have Honor Guard, which I thought we already had this one.
Something similar to it.
Have this?
Yeah.
Honor Guard, Holy Within 6, and didn't charge. This is one of the... You get like a bunch of the abilities you pick one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 1 thumb down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to too right now. I mean, at least the underdog abilities don't seem to be like the easiest things in the world to get.
Well,
but the idea that right, from what we've seen so far, from the 3 I've had.
The one you're holding by yourself.
Yes. However, I am very concerned. And yeah, making it so that you taking the double means you just get less points is so weird.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many close games that only because one of us got the double wasn't even close.
Well, now you'll be the underdog. You just rain down D3s wherever you want.
Like, here's the thing. Good players, I think, will purposely score to be the underdog from turn 1 into turn 2, so they get the underdog ability.
I agree.
And it will be very interesting to see.
I agree. Yeah, like I said, I mean, again, so this goes back to Matt Rose, who's the head writer for this edition, who has proven himself time and time again to be this very intelligent, very knowledgeable, very experienced rules writer, mechanic maker, just whole nine, everything you could ask for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? Like, he should be seeing this stuff. There's nothing in his repertoire. There's nothing in the way he speaks. There's nothing in the way that he's done stuff that leads me to believe. Like, it feels like there's a separate entity. There's a
filter in between him and what we have. Yeah.
In there, like there's something in between the A to B communication that is.
Yeah.
Because I said, I mean. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, battle tactics. Okay, so I think this was a little dumb. The tactical gambit ability.
Yeah, no,
to choose a battle tactic.
Sure.
I'm going to employ my tactical gambit to pick.
Which means I play the game.
Right.
What? Yeah,
they said everything's an ability.
Everything is an ability.
You're gonna have to do the timeout ability, and I have to go to the bathroom ability, and
Yep.
All right, so we have universal battle tactics. So you're all for these. You got a rock hard on for all of these.
I am here for all of them, Matt.
So seize the center.
So far. Hopefully the rest are good.
You complete this battle tactic at the end of turn if 2 or more friendly units are within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield and not in combat.
Very achievable by every army in the game, although not always easy.
I mean, here's the thing is we are boiling this game down to rugby, where we're going to have a scrum in the middle of the bush.
Yeah.
There's almost never going to be a time where you're going to be within 3 inches of the center, because everyone's going to be going for the center, so you're never going to be not in combat.
It'll be fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely going to get this one all the time.
Take the flanks. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if at least one friendly unit within 6 inches of each short battlefield edge. None of those units are wholly within friendly territory. And none of those units were set up this turn.
Yeah. So if you've got just things on the edge of the table.
So we have set up this.
And it's only within. It's not wholly.
Good. Woof. Oh boy. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Now that I'm Congo.
Imagine being not in the game because you're all the way out because you're wholly.
So again, so so take the flanks is one of the ones that kind of annoys me, because so far, based on the rules, not on the individual armies, essentially everything has to be close. Everything has to be clumped. Everything has to be.
Yes.
And so now what we're saying is, okay, so we want you to be here. Now you have to plan almost the turn ahead to that you're gonna leave your main force weakened to go and get these 4 points in 2 or 3 turns.
Right.
Now, again, at the same time, your opponent will be doing this, so then whoever just picks the better unit to go out.
Right. I mean, this is definitely something where you're like, I'm going to choose and use my cavalry unit because they're fast enough to make it back whenever I need them again.
I look at my sons, and I'm like, fuck me in the butthole. That's
right.
I just basically turn 1. I'm just gonna have to be two minis are gonna have to be here. Run.
Yep.
Hopefully, I get into the opponent and then
call that turn 1, and then you crash in. Yeah.
Slay the entourage. Pick a unit in the enemy's general regiment. You complete this battle tactic if that unit was destroyed this turn. So I'm of two minds of this one. I think it's actually interesting that they're integrating the regiment, so it goes beyond just list building. I like that aspect. However, B, you know how I feel about what I call Babe Ruthing.
Yeah. Yes.
I have
that unit is gonna die, baby.
I have never in memory successfully Babe Ruthed anything. Like there'd be like one dude, 1 hit point, 5 up save, no ward, 3 megas, whiff save.
I hear you.
If I call it out, that's the thing that will not happen.
Yeah. No, I think Slay the Entourage is very interesting. The general is the one who can have up to 4 units, so you get 1 extra in his. Could be a list building thing to not fully fill up the general's entourage unit, though. So, or regiment. So,
and then they said each Grand Alliance is going to have 1 battle tactic, I believe.
Yeah. So hopefully they're decent.
The problem is, I think it's really dumb. Like, you can't create an order battle plan that fits all armies. Same thing with chaos.
No,
like, at least
not at all.
Destruction and death typically work the same way.
Right. I mean these 4 that are here are
they're
interesting.
Okay. That's a bit of a bold statement there, my friend. But
okay, interesting might be too much, but yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Honestly, none of them can be very flavorful.
I know everyone complained about the Battle Tome.
Yeah. Tactics. Yeah.
And I have too.
Oh yeah, we are all guilty of it at some point.
But again, it's not because we didn't like the battle tactics. It's because some people got
freebies,
right? Like it's just everyone gets freebies, and then some people get none that are just achievable,
right? Yeah,
and it's like instead, how about you just create 1 for every battle tome that's something that fits their army,
right? And is actually doable. Yeah,
I think that is better, and as opposed to where you just go up order, yep, you have the same so Idnef has the same as the Fire Slayers, is the same as the KO, the same as Seraphon, the same.
Because we all definitely think the same.
Right. It just doesn't make sense. And I think it's just a good way to set themselves up for failure.
Yeah.
It's fine here, but I think it says, it says General's Handbook includes 2 extra battle tactics for each Grand Alliance.
No, so we've only got 1 each. Okay.
So, like I said, I think these will go away with the General's Handbook. I would like to just per battle tome. Here you go.
Yeah.
Move on. So with battle tactics, I can't do anything but 2 thumbs down. And you got 2 thumbs up?
Well, yeah. No, these are good ones. They're actually achievable by everyone so far. Make sure that we continue to write things that are achievable by every army and not by some.
I don't know. Again,
we'll be good.
I think we can agree to disagree. We don't need to have the debate here, but I think I disagree with Seize the Center. And I think I think my main complaint about just battle tactics in general, like Chuck says, it's like it makes me play my army in a way that I don't want to play my army in order to win. Like it's not like because again he's very very lore focused and he's like, okay, my army wants blood. They want blood on their hands. They want it in their face and their hair and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
they don't care about holding the borders.
Fair enough.
Now again, at the same time, this is an objective-based game, so that again, I don't speak for Chuck. I'm just giving an example.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, this to me is more of a gatekeeper mechanic.
Okay.
Because it is, it very much is. Okay, there's a certain meta around how to do these, right?
Yeah.
and whether you do them right or you do them wrong. So you have to, because like again, the battle tactic battle starts in list building.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So every slime bucket
Mm-hmm.
online that replies to the Facebook message, the tweet, the X, the Reddit post of I'm starting this army, what do I
Mm-hmm.
take? To the flood of take whatever's cool.
Yeah.
So now I think the shooty guys for Fire Slayers are super cool. So I focused my army on those. I can't
Yeah.
seize the center. I can't move far enough to take the flanks. I might be able to slay the entourage.
Yeah.
And so by then trying to go for these, I have to put my army in such a position that I've basically forfeited the game, putting my opponent at an advantage to just wipe me out. So, like I said, I can see why more advanced players like them,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm also of the mind that Age of Sigmar is Dad Hammer, and this is the game that we come to get away from all the stuff of our lives.
That is probably an adept way of putting Age of Sigmar. It is much more the dad hammer than in 40k is.
And I
Yeah.
do feel like we are getting further away from that with the hey dad, you remember how you were supposed to take out the garbage, paint the blah 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 this that.
Yeah.
Also don't forget about this and that and that. Also,
Yeah.
you need to remember every single one of the abilities you just said and all the abilities your opponent just said as well.
Right. Yeah.
Like, okay, and then on top of that, I also have to figure out what I'm going to be doing for next turn and the turn after for my battle tactics.
Right. Yeah.
It's just too much. Let's calm it down. And again, like, let me put it this way. I know we're running
Yeah.
long here. We got 2 more articles here, but
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know. I could be misremembering for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not misremembering for me.
Okay.
Back in up until second, well, I would say for second edition because I wasn't very good in first edition. I was good pre GHB and then bad post GHB, and then whenever second edition, I got more 4-1 records, 3-2 records. I mean,
Yeah.
I came out to Ligonier, and how many times did I get first place for one-day events?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I got first place events. I think 3 times at Fabricators for one-day events.
Yeah.
And now,
I know.
Now with battle tactics, it's like I can't
keep up.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, separated from is it a good mechanic, is it a bad mechanic?
Mm.
For me, it's a bad mechanic because it prevents me from achieving what I know that I was able to achieve. And I feel that you were in the same boat. I felt you were even better.
Yeah, I did better in second than I have in third. 100%. And I don't know. I feel like that might be because the skill expression bar went up in that jump from second to third in my mind with the introduction of battle tactics.
Right. I mean, again, that's why.
But I definitely did better and placed better in second.
And like I said, I mean, I don't know. Like, even whenever I'm playing the hex map games, and we're not worried about battle tactics. It's so like, it's literally like just like taking the chains off and just like, look, I don't have to worry about that. I know where I want to go. I know the objectives I want to take, and I know what you're going to do.
Right.
I don't have to worry that next time you're going to try and do lead the maelstrom, and then I better counter that with bait and surround and
right.
set myself up for surround and destroy, and like
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
And again, like I said, I am not trying to dissuade you from battle tactics. I'm trying to intelligently
say
form
why
my
you
opinion
feel
without
the way you
just
feel.
going, they suck.
Yep. 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 I hear you.
But again, we're stuck with them. So until GHB 2025 to 2026, then all hail the Grand Alliance or Grand Strat and death to Battle Decks.
There we go.
So the edging continues. We got a.
Yeah. Hey, I like the new prosecutor here. It looks cool. Flaming wings now. I'm down for it.
So here's the thing, like, so the picture where they have the little guy, just the one guy by himself with the artwork right behind him.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how hard it would be to like file the tip of the wings away.
Okay.
To make it look like it's all continuous, like light and fire.
Could be interesting. Could try something like that.
Because, like, for me personally, I wish they kind of would have chosen one or the other. Like,
okay,
have the like instead of having like these metal wings, like the metal feathers, just the whole thing be sculpted light.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think the whole thing being fire would have been really cool. But I'd have been here for that.
Everything else cool. The armor's cool. Helmet's cool. I actually
armor looks.
For one.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see Stormcast with an open face mask.
Yes. Yeah. Stormcast with an open face mask. Very rougher looking with that mohawk too. I'm here for it.
It was so funny. I was very confused by this model at first.
Okay.
I was looking at the eyes and I was seeing that lighter shade. I was like, oh, okay. Well, so they're like gaunt and everything else. And then there's like a big like red beard. And then I noticed that it's the female breastplate. I'm like, oh, okay, we're really.
yeah. Took you a second to realize.
It's getting real new age now. It's like, nope. Yep. Just glowy eyes.
Right, just some glowy eyes. Yep.
But that is a very masculine jaw we have going on there. One way.
That's okay. It's okay.
But no, I was looking at all these. I think they're all really cool. I'm so happy. No flight base. There's no flight.
Yes, actually, I didn't even realize that. You're right. They did what the entire community's been doing. Put a piece of terrain on the base and we'll attach it to that.
Make their rules half decent. Give me a reason to put them on the table.
Yep.
If you give me a reason to have two, you get 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm here for it. I like the Valkyrie style.
Oh, they also showed a Ruination Chamber rule here.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Parentheses army reaction. This unit was picked as the target of a non-core ability. So this is just non-core ability.
Okay.
D6 on a 4-up, it doesn't work.
Interesting.
Spells, prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Just once per turn.
Yep.
Nah, we're gonna shrug it.
Yep.
Okay.
Roll 3 dice for these guys specifically. Roll 3 dice.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, I like it. All
right, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely here for it.
And then today, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Class with Eldritch manifestations and demolished terrain faction features and hashtag new AoS. So everything is now going to be a lore or something. You manifest them.
Right.
So, okay. So let me see if I get this right.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it say it? I thought they highlighted things, and I guess they didn't. So, like, on top of picking your lore, you also get to pick a manifestation lore?
I think so, from what I got.
So does that mean that you're going to have to choose between endless spells and your terrain?
I don't know.
Do you think they're going to tuck your like army?
So it says you'll be able to pick one of these lores alongside your spell lore and prayer lore when building. So you're going to pick the lore that's in your book plus one of these for a universal,
which is weird.
Manifestation.
That's a lot of endless spells. Can can we just go back and not? I mean, like, first off, Morbid Conjuration has Purple Sun and Soul Shackles.
Yeah, two things that have been known to be problems in the past.
That's not a bad argument. I mean,
just
Cogs and Pendulum.
Alarm bells are going. Yeah,
I'm not mad at that. Like, I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
And then Kronspine, the motherfucking Incarnate. You could just take the Incarnate for free. It was oh my god almighty! It like ruined the game for the 6 months that people were taking it, and they're like, you know what would make that better? Giving it to everyone for free.
Well, yeah, why not? It'd be fine. Don't you want
also
Nagash to cast the Kronspine Incarnate in your game?
That's what I was hoping for. I was really hoping for that. I was like,
I knew that's what you were after.
Bind that shit to Nagash. That's a better idea.
That seems like a great idea.
This is a piece of this is a complete piece of trash. When it's like
it's paid for its sins.
It's like, here it gets 3 attacks. On 1, it does mortal wound to itself and the person that's bound to it, and on a 6, you hit. On a wound, you have to 6, but if you get a 6, you have to re-roll and get another 6 for the wound. That's what I want to see for the. And that's someone that has an Incarnate.
Right.
I think it's very interesting that everything has health and a save.
Yeah, the first time I saw that earlier today, I had to stop, look again at the unit card I was looking at, and go, no, that's for an endless spell. Okay. So I can beat up Quicksilver swords and kill them that way.
I am not mad at it.
It gives more ways to get rid of these things if you're fighting against a magic heavy army and you aren't a magic heavy army. It's cool.
Yes, that's one thing I really do like. I'm sure whenever I'm in game and someone I'm playing against is going to use an endless spell with a moving manifestation, it has to be set up outside of 9. I think I'll be happy then, but now I'm like, seems kind of weird. Like, the whole point of it is to, like, start it up my opponent's butt.
Yes, and then just hit them over the head with it. Agreed.
Right, like, it seems a little weird, but, you know, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
The Prismatic Palisade, I don't... The target can... So, for this one, the manifestation cannot be targeted by shooting attacks. In addition, a unit cannot be targeted by shooting attacks if it is impossible to draw a straight line from the model in the attacking unit to a model in the target unit without that line passing across manifestation. Well, it doesn't stop you from moving over, so just move an inch forward. Like, you're just gonna just...
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, like, just make
It'll
it
be fine.
possible. Just make it possible.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully.
However, they showed us the Magmic Battleforge. I really like this. I think this is awesome.
Okay. What do you like about it? Tell us. Let's see.
Well, so the person that you choose gets on.
Sweet. I'm happy to hear that to start with.
They get the +1 chanting roll like they already have, like they should have had in the first place.
Yes.
And then whenever you expend it, they still have an expending thing, but now all Fire Slayers heal D3.
That's cool. And I like that there's no range on it or anything like that, because this is a static piece.
Yeah.
So it just does it.
Now only 8 health on a 3-up save.
Right. That is scary. Somebody could just shoot your oven.
It's a metal oven. Like, now again, I think it has a 6 ward, but like this should just I feel like it should be like 10 and 2. Like, I feel if you're gonna get rid of because like
the terrain piece would be very difficult to get rid of.
I mean, you should put some effort into it. You know, hell, I think we should even do terrain like either ignores rend or reduces
that'd be
by
fun.
1 or reduces damage by 1 when shooting.
Sure.
Because I don't mind if someone like if a giant pack of rats come up and start stabbing at it, but like just have some Giselle shoot from across the table and just go
right, just pow pow, done. It's gone. Yeah.
Then they showed
it'd be interesting.
The spell Tree Song from Sylvaneth.
Yeah.
Where you cast it, and if there are less than 3 wildwoods, you put a wildwood. I'm a
Yeah.
little annoyed that it limits you to 3 wildwoods. I think that's a little.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see with the limiting happening. Did we just feel like it was too much to have to mark a bunch of terrain pieces as wildwoods? Because that's essentially what was happening.
Right.
I don't know.
So, where are you with this one?
I'm okay with it. It's definitely something I want to see more than anything, because obviously if I'm taking the spell lore, I'm getting access to these spells, but I have to pay for them like I used to always have to.
I
So
don't know how I feel, man.
again, weird about it. Also, making those wizards from earlier that was scaring me even scarier, because now they're also going to do one of these.
So, like, I don't know. It seems, at first blush, it seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like a really dumb idea that they didn't flesh out or try, and they're just like, it's fine. It'll be fine.
I'm just saying. We got Zinch. We got.
It's the guy at college that does that exact thing where he comes in, it'll be fine, and then you just go with it, and you forget, oh, wait, this is the guy that's had his car impounded 3 times this month, and it's the 4th.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's going to be
does that mean that these are now non-unique? So if you cast, because again, like if there's like, okay, so let's say we both take Morbid. Are we rushing to see who casts the Purple Sun first? Or can we have dual and Purple Suns that like boom, 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 they can charge and start sunning each other?
Get a black hole then instead of 2 purple suns. It's fine.
And we get a Malevolent Maelstrom.
Yes. It's a very good question, because I don't see anywhere where it's saying that the spells themselves are unique.
Like, that was kind of the thing about it before, was like, okay, well, I took this Purple Sun, no one else really takes the Purple Sun, so...
Right,
but
yeah.
now if, like, 1 in 5 people are going to have the Purple Sun, the Suffocating Gravetide, the Malevolent Maelstrom, and the Soul Snared Shackles...
Yeah. Gonna be interesting.
What about, like, KO and other armies that don't have... I mean, I know that Khorne will have their invocations, but...
Right, yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm very curious as to how much chant level we have to put into an invocation.
That's going to be like 12.
Right, yeah. If it's 12, you're like, well, I'm just not going to take this. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're going to watch your spellcaster buddy go, round 1, we put this out.
Every time I run Fire Slayers or KO, I'm going to have to bring a fucking Incarnate.
Probably. Well, that's what your spell in a bottle is going to be for KO, an Incarnate.
Yeah, but now it really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Right, I don't even have it in me to discuss this one any further. Okay, go ahead and rate it.
It's, if you're a spellcaster, it's good. If you're concerned for the health of the game, I'm a little concerned. I'm meh to thumbs down right now, because it could go bad. I like that I can just fight and endless spell if I need to, which is good. That's going to help. But also, a wizard's going to sit in the back, summon an endless spell. I'm going to fight it. They're going to resummon that endless spell. I'm going to have to fight it again.
Yeah, because they have two casts every phase, so why not?
Right. Yeah. Why would you not just keep recasting it?
So mine is a meh, but it's not a traditional meh.
Okay.
It is the difference, or it is the sum of 2 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down.
Okay.
It's not a regular meh. It's like an absolute value meh.
Got you.
I don't know, man.
It'll be interesting. As we said at the start of this, everything is not out there yet.
Yeah.
So we have no idea. We could be thinking of things completely wrong. And the moment that we have the book in our hands, we go, oh, that's how it works. Never mind. It's okay.
We'll see. Well, again, yes, I absolutely agree that there's still, there's no way
There's
to
a
put
lot to this game we know nothing about.
there's not a lot that we don't know to this game yet. We're
Okay. All the lawyers speak in between the pages
See, here's
is what we don't have.
Okay, so like whenever something comes out that I'm very interested in, I read all of it. Like I do a very good job of absorbing all of it. So I did it like whenever Fire Slayers came out and KO,
Right.
blah blah, and this and that. And every single time I do the exact same thing that you're doing right now. Where I go, well, we'll wait and see when everything comes out to see what it says when you put it all together. And
it says exactly what you thought it was going to say.
You're like, no, you forgot to put the words in between this article and this article. You're like, nope. So, again, I'm not
Right.
I'm not doom and glooming.
Right.
But I am saying, I said, systematically throughout this episode, most things got a thumbs down or a meh.
Yeah. They did.
And not just me. Not realist Big M.
Oh, realist. Not that glass is half empty. Big M.
Again, the glass is only half full if it started full. If it was empty and you filled it halfway, it's half full. But if it was full and you drank it and it's down to half, it is now half empty.
Yeah.
Realism. So far, I'm seeing a glass that has a lot of water drank out of it so far.
I am missing some of the water that you had here before, sir.
Again, like I said, I mean, huge swing here. Huge swing. And it's a prediction that I hope I'm wrong with.
Okay.
I think by not this winter, but next winter, we're going to see a 4.5.
Okay.
Because again, like, I don't think there's any huge misses here. But I think there's a lot of things that they're not thinking about the bigger community.
Okay.
Like Wizards.
Right.
I don't think they're thinking about Wizards in the grand scheme of things whenever you have a sorry guys, Fire Slayers versus Lumineth.
Right.
Like, now again, yes, there's always a chance they could do Fire Slayers are resistant to magic, and every time they do the blah 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 blah,
right,
that could be there. But heavy magic army A versus no magic army B,
one just gets bullied. Yeah.
And again, like, that's not a fun game.
Right.
Even if you win, it's not a fun game.
Right. Yeah. You just had a miserable 4 hours while you just slugged out that game.
I've never seen somebody win, lose, or draw come out of a croak bomb list and go, that was a good game, man.
It's a little hard to do that.
Like, oh, my opponent was great. We had a fun time, but like, no one talks about that game.
You come out winning it, you're like, I got so lucky that his dice rolling was that bad. Otherwise, I would have been just sitting there miserable in a different way.
And that's basically what we're headed for. So, again, like I said, and again, they talked about modularity.
Yeah.
So it may not be 4.5, but whenever we replace Module 1 and Module 2 and Module 3, that's 4.5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Because like I said, I don't see, or we do the dreaded C word comp.
We will see. I am currently surprised the old world community is currently where it is with the lack of comp.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll hold out some hope.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing: is like I don't care which way it lands, but I think if it needs comp, I think the community should comp.
I don't disagree.
I don't think GW should release a product that needs comp.
Correct. Again, billion-dollar company.
Right. Multi-billion-dollar company.
Multi-billion. Yes.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Happy days are
Thank
ahead
you.
of us, huh?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who made it through that long one with us. Obviously, this was just a happy-go-lucky sunshine and rainbows episode.
Yeah. So sign up now for the Fabricator Forge 4E tournament in July 20th. 20th, 21st. Sign up now.
After we just said so many good things about the edition, yes.
Come out and prove me wrong.
Do it. I'll get you a t-shirt.
Night, everybody.